Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome along to the World Darts Championship day number 6 live watch along on the YouTube channel. I hope you are all good today. Welcome along to a shorter evening session at the World Darts Championship. If you are wondering why I said a shorter session, then I'll go through, of course, all the details in a little moment. But tonight we have 3 matches at the World Darts Championship to watch tonight, including one of my underdog outsiders to potentially go far in the competition. We've got John Henderson, a PDC favourite, of course, coming up tonight against Jonny Clayton. And then we also have another game going on to kickstart the night, which we'll, of course, talk about in just a moment's time. But how are you all doing? Hope you're all good as always. Welcome along to the stream. There we are. Here we are once again. This is the World Darts Championship, day number 6. And for those of you that were wondering, of course, where were you yesterday? I sincerely apologise for the fact that I couldn't get live. I was having a few issues with the service that I tend to use to watch the darts on, so I couldn't actually watch it last night myself, which was very, very frustrating indeed, because we had some really good games last night. But ultimately, in the end, the good news is those problems are solved. We're back once again for the World Darts Championship. And we only have 3 matches tonight. If you don't know why, you'll be able to see on the right-hand side of your screen, of course, the order of play. We've only got 3 matches today, and that is because solely due to the reason of one of the players has contracted COVID, which is a real shame indeed. Kleemaker contracted COVID, which means he could not take part in the World Darts Championship, which is a real shame for him indeed. They then had another player who was actually going to be playing in those games to replace Kleemaker. However, when he had his tests, he didn't get a positive COVID test, but one of his family members had contracted COVID, which therefore means that the player that they had drawn in initially to play off against cancellation to replace him isn't able to play either, which therefore means in this situation cancellation has been given a bye into round 2, so we won't be seeing cancellation in the first round, but he's been given a bye into the second round, which is, of course, not too bad for him. It means he gets a few extra days to be able to practice and get ready for his match, which, if you are wondering who is he going to be facing in the next round, then he will be coming up against, let me try and find it for you, he'll be coming up against Danny Noppert in the second round. He plays on December the 22nd, which therefore means we haven't got too long to wait until we see cancellation play in a game. But ultimately, at the end of the day, very unlucky for Martin Kleemaker, who isn't able to play in this competition, and therefore it means, of course, we won't be seeing him in the World Darts Championship. If you're not new to the stream, as always, just want to say a big thank you for all of you that have subscribed. I noticed that the subscribers still was going up and up and up yesterday, even without being live. So big thank you to everybody that in the end has left a subscription on the channel. And if you do enjoy this watch along, then I highly do recommend leaving a like and a subscription. It is always greatly, greatly appreciated indeed. But this is it. In terms of round 1 action, this is the last day and the final match of round 1. And the first match of the day is going to see Keegan Brown coming up against Ryan Meikle. I think that's how you pronounce it, Ryan Meikle, I think is how you pronounce it. If somebody tells me in the chat, of course, how you pronounce it. Maybe I'm butchered his name very slightly there. But yes, we've got this match between Keegan Brown and Ryan Meikle. In terms of the two guys' rankings in the world, Keegan Brown ranked 35th in the PDC World kind of rankings. As for Ryan Meikle, he's ranked 105. So in terms of this game being even, you could say Keegan Brown is probably the player expected to go through to the next round. But never say never with the World Darts Championship, because we've seen some absolutely incredible games. And for those of you that are wondering what happened in the afternoon session, we had some brilliant games indeed. Dirk Telnikes coming up in a brilliant match against Nick Kenny. Both of those players debuting at the World Darts Championship for the first time. Nick Kenny coming out in a thriller with a 3-2 victory. Jason Lowe coming up against the very enigmatic Russian Dmitry Gorbanov. Came onto stage with an incredible walkout. It was fantastic to see, and probably one of the best ones we've had so far. But ultimately, in the end, the slow and steady, patient Justin Lowe Jason Lowe, not Justin Lowe, of course, went on to win that game, which was a good result for him, 3-1 in the end. Matthew Edgar, a very notorious player, of course, in the YouTube community, as a darts player, fantastic for him, coming out 3-0 victor of Mike Kuvenhoven, or Quevenhoven, however you want to pronounce it. So very good win there for Edgar TV, of course. Good to see him in the next round. He'll go on to face Mensur Suljevic. And then the last game, it was an absolute thriller, this one. You have to give... you have to think that Meulenkamp was very unfortunate here to not get through to the next round, because Vincent van der Voort, he was 2 sets down against Ron Meulenkamp, but came back in the match to produce an absolutely incredible performance. And he went through as the victor, Vincent van der Voort, 3-2. So some incredible games that we were able to witness earlier on today. We've got some fantastic action now. Only 3 games, which therefore means we should hopefully, or roughly, be done around 9:30, 10, which is a little bit earlier than what we have been going these last couple of nights. But the good news is that our first game of the evening, the first game of 3, is about to get underway. Keegan Brown taking on Ryan Meikle in this match. And it should be a good game indeed. And for those of you in the stream, do give me a heads up here if this background music is just a little bit too loud. If it's a little bit too loud, then tell me in the chat to turn it down. I happily will. But we're underway in this game. Keegan Brown taking on Ryan Meikle. In terms of their form, I think it's always worth looking at form, although it kind of doesn't really mean much in the basis of a game like this. Keegan Brown coming on into this match, hasn't played since November, but struggled a little bit. He's only won 2 of his last 5 games, but some of those losses do include the likes of Gary Anderson, which he lost 6-4 to, Christoph Ratajski, which he lost 6-3 to, and Nathan Aspinall, which he lost once again 6-3 to. So when you look at it in that respect, probably losses that Keegan Brown would have expected to have. As for Ryan Meikle, he comes into this completely off form. He's been playing very recently. He played at the home tour back at the beginning of this month. He lost his last 5 games in a row, and that includes playing the likes of Luke Humphreys, Ryan Searle, Steve Beaton, and Michael Smith. So some very tough games in there, and you probably would expect him in that respect to go on and lose those games, as we could have the first 180 of the night, and we do indeed. First 180 on the board, and it's going to go to Ryan Meikle. Good start indeed for him there, but it's games you would probably expect him to go on and lose realistically. So an interesting game overall. Alexander's asked, where can we see the match? If you're in the UK, you can get Now TV and access it on there. It does come at a paid fee. I'm pretty sure if you live overseas, PDC.TV as well might have access to the World Darts Championship. But unfortunately, because of copyright reasons, I cannot show the games live, because if copyright didn't exist, then we'd have these games on straight away. But first leg here, Keegan Brown to check out 50. He needs the double 16 here, which he won't get. And it does leave Ryan Meikle an opportunity to check out 82. He needs bull double 16 for the first leg of the first set on the board. He starts off with an outer bull. Now needs treble 17 for tops. He's going to get 17. He will go tops here. And he gets tops. Lovely 82 checkout there from Ryan Meikle. And Keegan Brown, not under some pressure. I think for Meikle more than anything, it kind of makes sure that the nerves aren't there massively. But big opportunity here for Ryan Meikle to take a foothold of this first set. He goes 1 leg up in this match. But while this game's going on in the background, as I said, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for turning up over the last few days to these streams, because I wasn't live yesterday, unfortunately, because of the issues that I was having. But in the end, there was still people subscribing, there was still people liking, there were still tons of people watching back the videos as well. So big thank you to you all. It's incredibly appreciated. And we're now pushing towards 1,500 subs, which is fantastic indeed. But Keegan Brown here at 3-6-7 after 6 darts. Ryan Meikle going to put Brown under a little bit of pressure here. He's got himself down to 3-2-3. And he does give me an opportunity to get the first drink of the day. And do you know what? Do I get a gin or do I get a can of Pepsi? The answer is actually going to start off with... He's actually going to start off with a gin. So I'm going to sort myself out in the background here. Apologies about that. And if there's anybody in the chat as well that's watching that Man United game against Leeds, then give me an update in the chat what the score is, because It's an absolute bonkers game, that one. But Meikle down to 279 here. Not necessarily the best score in the world for him there. I think he only got himself about 54. Keegan Brown with an opportunity here to take advantage, which he does. Gets himself 138 to put him down to 170. And I'm pretty sure we still haven't seen a big fish in the World Darts Championship yet. Hopefully, we will see one soon. But Meikle here at 279. Keegan Brown at 170. He's going to get at least 3 darts here with Meikle down at 145. Potentially 6. Starts off with a 20, Keegan Brown. Then gets 19, which therefore means he's not going to be able to check out. But he can leave himself with a respectable finish of 113. Although Meikle here is going to try and go for the 145. Starts off with a 20, which means he's not going to be able to check out either here. Can he leave himself with a better finish than Brown, who currently is at 113? And he does very well indeed there. So Meikle down to 60. Keegan Brown here at 113. Treble 2013, double 20 needed. He's going to go for the 19 route. Now needs treble 18, which he gets. Double 20 for a 113 checkout, which he gets. And that is a brilliant checkout there from Keegan Brown. A 113 checkout. Really, really well worked there. And it's one set apiece in this game. Keegan Brown has certainly made it game on here. And Ryan Meikle, who, as I said, not necessarily taking a foothold of this game. More easing the pressure from Meikle because, you know, he's not coming into this based on good form. He's coming into this on bad form. As I said at the home tour, he didn't win in his last 5 games. So, realistically here, he'd probably expected to go on and lose to Keegan Brown. But we've seen so many good games already at the World Darts Championship that God knows where these games are going to go. Whether it's going to be a clean sweep here of a 3-0 victory for Keegan Brown, or whether we see a potential game where it finishes 3-2 on sets. Probably more likely to be the latter. So Keegan Brown already down to 227 here. But Meikle gets himself a treble 20. He's at 401. Gets another one. He's on for the 180 here, which would be his second of the match. And he can't get it. And gets himself 140. So good pressure there from Ryan Meikle on Keegan Brown, who will expect to go through to the next round. And for those of you wondering who will they face in the next round, depending on who goes through here, they will face off against either, where is it? Trying to find where it is, Brown or Meikle. They'll face Dave Chisnell in the next round, which is actually the last day of second round action. That's on December the 23rd. So they've got at least 3 days to be able to prepare themselves, whoever wins this match. But Brown here at 197, Ryan Meikle at 121. The advantage here to Meikle, can he make the most of it? That's the question. Brown only at 111, which means you would expect here Meikle to have at least 6 darts at the 121, unless Brown can get another ton plus checkout. And he's not going to be able to check out here. So 57 from Meikle, that puts him down at 64. Brown at 111 here. We've already seen a ton plus checkout from Brown in this game. He goes for the 19 route, which means he's not going to be able to check out here unless he gets double 16. Oh, that is beautiful. 2 ton plus finishes in a row there from Keegan Brown. 111 finish there. And he did very well indeed, because he went for the treble 19 route with 111. Got the 19, and then I think he got the treble 18. Fantastic there from Keegan Brown indeed, and it puts him 2 legs up in this first set, and he's had an absolutely fantastic start in terms of his finishing in this game. And he'll start off this leg, this set. No, it was leg. I was right at first. He'll only start off this leg with 87 to put himself down to 414. As for Ryan Meikle here, currently at 443. Going to be very nervous indeed for Ryan Meikle, who he's under a little bit of pressure, as I said, to go out there and get some results. Realistically, started off very well with that first leg, and he might have had a bit of confidence going into it. But ultimately now, this is where you'd expect the class of Keegan Brown to come on display. In terms of the rankings, they're so far away from each other. You would expect Keegan Brown to go on and win this game. And realistically, to be honest, as we have a chance here for 180 from Ryan Meikle, second one of the game. And he gets it indeed. 180 there, that's the second on the board for Ryan Meikle. It puts him down to 167 and gives him a good opportunity to hold this throw and take it to a deciding leg in this first set. And it's a very good first set on the board by both players. Of course, what we'll always do is we'll talk through what has happened in the first set once it's completed and done. But Ryan Meikle here at 167, Keegan Brown at 299, and Mikal is down to 74. He's going to have at least 6 darts, you would expect, at that 74. And Keegan Brown only getting himself there, I think, 59. So Mikal here at 74, going to have 6 darts at this. Starts off with a treble 18. He needs double 10 for the second leg on the board. First dart misses. Second dart now, good marker from that first. And he doesn't. So he will come back in a moment to try and check out that double 10. Keegan Brown here at 245 can only put pressure on Ryan Meikle, and he might put very good pressure on here. He's on for the 180. And he gets the 180. And that is perfect pressure from Keegan Brown. So double 5 needed here for Mikal to make it 2 legs apiece. And he gets it indeed. So we're going to a deciding leg in this first set. Very good there from Ryan Meikle to put some pressure on Keegan Brown. And a very, very good first set overall. Mystic Mac, how are you doing? Hope you're all good as always, buddy. I keep missing the darts. What are the regular times for the sessions? So the sessions tend to be 12 GMT in the afternoon. And the evening session starts from around about 6 o'clock GMT. So you've not really missed anything here. We've only just started in this match, but the earlier session in the afternoon is usually at 12, as Brown's got a chance here for 180, and all aboard the 180 train, because it's certainly rolling here. That's the 4th one of the match. That's 2 apiece. And Mikal here, looking to put a 180 on his own, but he won't. He'll opt to go for the treble 19 instead. So Brown here at 222 and Mikal at 342. How are we doing, Mark? Hope you're good. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining us, buddy. Hope you're all good. Hope you've been enjoying this thrilling week of World Darts Championship action so far. So Brown down at 126 here. Mikal at 342. He's got to put some real pressure on. A 180 is kind of what he needed, but he's only going to have a chance here for 100, which he doesn't get. And Brown here is going to have probably 6 darts at the 126. 2 treble 19s and a double 6 required. He starts with a 3, then a 20. He really needs a treble, which he will get. Treble 19 in the end there. So Brown down to 46. Mikal at 282. You would expect Keegan Brown to get that first set on the board and just relieve a little bit of pressure for him after a very nervy first set for both players, because they're playing very, very well indeed in this first set. So 14, double 16 required. He gets the 14. Double 16 for the first set of the game and the first set of the night, which he gets. And that is the first set on the board. And Keegan Brown, both players playing very, very well indeed in this first leg. But it is going to be Keegan Brown who takes the lead in this game with the first set. And we have a very good game on our hands here. And Ryan Meikle playing very well indeed. Keegan Brown playing very well. 4 180s in that first set. But as it currently stands, it's Keegan Brown who takes the lead. Back in a moment. 1-0 to Keegan Brown against Ryan Meikle. So that's the first set of the game done. And that was a very good set indeed by both players. You have to give credit there. A really, really good start to this game. But as it currently stands, it is Keegan Brown who has a 1-0 lead in this game. And do you know what? Fair play to him. Both players looking really, really strong in that first original set, as I said before. In terms of this actual game and the stats of the match, as it currently stands, both players averaging above a 90. In fact, Keegan Brown averaging 96.32 and Ryan Meikle averaging 92.4. It's been a very, very good start to the game. As I said a moment ago, both players with 180s on the board. In fact, both players have 2 180s, which is really, really good to see. 4 180s already in the first set. We're off to a thrilling start in this match indeed. Both players are from 4 140 pluses, while Keegan Brown is from 11 ton pluses in comparison to Ryan Meikle's 8. Checkouts wise, both players at 50% as it currently stands. Keegan Brown 3 out of his 6, while Ryan Meikle 2 out of 4. And then in terms of everything else, of course, highest checkout we've seen in the game so far was a 1-1-3 by Keegan Brown. He also did get a 1-1-1 in that set, so a very, very good start indeed. And ultimately, for both players, you're probably thinking, don't change the game style up right now. You know, Ryan Meikle, although he's a set down, he's looking like he could potentially take Keegan Brown to a deciding leg pretty much in every set if he continues the way on that he does. But fair play to a very good game indeed so far. Danny Max in the chat, hope you're all good, buddy. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Nice to see a lot of the regular faces in the stream as always. And just as I said once again, if the background music, the jazz or whatever shite is on in the background is a little bit too loud, then do tell me in the chat and I'll turn it down. But we'll be back on the way with the game in a moment. If you're new to the stream, as always, as I said, do leave a like and a subscription. It is very, very greatly appreciated as we push towards 1,500 subs. Can we get there before the end of the year? I don't know, but we'll have to find out indeed, as I'm getting a phone call here, which I'm just going to have to leave for now because I'm busy. But yeah, been a very good game so far. Keegan Brown, can he finish this 3 sets to nothing? Personally, I don't think he will. I think he's on course here for a very tough match against Ryan Meikle. But the important thing here is that both players keep the standards up right now, because you know, you have to give credit. Ryan Meikle coming off the back of 5 defeats at the home tour back at the beginning of the month. He will be looking to try and get himself some confidence. But we've got some more games coming up tonight. As you can see on the right hand side of your screen in terms of the order of play, we've only got 3 games tonight. Martin Kleermaker versus Cameron Carlison has been cancelled. And the reason why is because Martin Kleermaker had a test for COVID. I believe it came in positive. They did have a replacement for him. However, then his replacement, I believe, has a family member that has contracted COVID, which therefore means that he couldn't come to the game or to the Ali Pali either, which therefore means that Carlison has been given a bye into round 2, and we've only got 3 matches to watch tonight, which means we could be done fairly quickly, depending on some of the action tonight. But as it currently stands, Keegan Brown 1 set up against Ryan Meikle, and we are back underway with the action. How many more 180s do you think we're going to get today? Because we've certainly had a few already. In fact, we've had 4 on the night, which is a very good start indeed. But you can see the averages right now. Keegan Brown averaging 98. It's a perfect start for him. But good to see you in the stream, Danny Mac. I just saw in the chat, of course, you put Edgar1, which is great to see, of course. Edgar TV, a favourite on YouTube, and a character as well. I do like him indeed, a great player. And a great performance today, 3-0 against... I was about to say 3-0 against Mensur Suljovic, but of course, that's who he plays in the next round. Danny put, miss you yesterday. You're the only watch along where it actually sounds like you're watching a radio broadcast. Thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. I like to do it in that respect. I think for those that don't tend to kind of be able to watch the matches and want to keep up to date, I kind of like to do it in that respect. And I mean, is it classed as a watch along? You could kind of class it as, you know, commentating in the background more than anything, but I like to do it that way. I think for people, as I said, that can't watch the games, they can, you know, keep up to date with everything that's going on. As we've got a chance here for 180 for Ryan Meikle. He'll change up though, which I don't blame him there. Gets 138, so he's down to 80. Keegan Brown at 139. But big thank you, Danny Mac, and apologies for yesterday. As I said, the service that I used to watch the darts on, I couldn't get on last night, so I was sorting that out today. And luckily, we're back once again, and we're able to do some live watch-alongs, which is fantastic indeed. But Mikal here on 80 needs double 20 to get the first leg on the board of this second set, which he doesn't, and he's very unlucky indeed, because his dart, as it was gliding towards the double 20, connected with one of his darts that was already in the 20 and came out of the board. So chance here for Brown to take the first leg of the game. He had to get tops, and he gets tops as well. So 1 leg on the board in his second set for Keegan Brown and Ryan Meikle there, who will feel very unfortunate that he wasn't able to get that leg on the board. Doesn't indeed, and well, Keegan Brown now has a real opportunity to start gliding away with this game. And I mean, as I said, you know, depending on how this game goes, it could be done fairly quickly, and that is no disrespect to Ryan Meikle, because he's played very well so far, but if little things don't go your way, we could be in about 5 minutes' time saying that Keegan Brown is 2-0 up, and well, that'll make things certainly interesting, because we've had a fair few fight backs over the last few days from 2 sets down. In fact, we had Vincent van der Voort today, of course, coming back from 2 sets down to win 3 sets to 2. We've had Chris Dobie do it as well. I'm pretty sure Daryl Gurney at one point might have been 2 sets down, or he was a set down at the very least. And Dirk Dijvenbode as well, another player who was 2 sets down. So we've had plenty of major fight backs at the World Darts Championship in round 1 already, and well, it's just going to get better and better as we continue on into round 2, which of course continues on tonight. How are we doing with the man with no name? Hope you're all good. I saw your message last night. I don't know if you saw the reply that I put to the message you put on the last video, but thank you very much for joining us once again. It's very, very greatly appreciated for all of you that have returned to the channel. For Sunday Night Darts, it's lovely indeed. We love it at the Alley Pally. We've had a new subscriber as well, so whoever did subscribe, a big thank you. It's very, very greatly appreciated indeed. And exactly, we said it before, the man with no name, 2-0 up, means nothing in this tournament, unless you're James Wade. Which in that game, you know, he was cruising in that match, but I think things are a little bit different in this game. I think things are very different, because Ryan Meikle is certainly putting in a solid performance right now, but Keegan Brown is at 105 here. Can he get the second leg of the board and put himself 1 leg away from 2 sets up? He's not going to be able to check out here, but with Ryan Meikle at a 129, he's probably going to get another 3 darts here. It would be a massive ton plus finish if Ryan Meikle can get it, starting off with a treble 19, which he won't get in the end. And he needs a treble 20, which he gets now. Needs the bull for a 129 check out. Oh, just can't get it. Very, very unfortunate indeed. So, Keegan Brown back for a double 12. 2 legs up potentially in a moment, see if he can keep his cool. Now needs double 6. Got 1 down the double 6. And he gets it. And I was just about to say there that his finishing had been slightly off for a second there, Keegan Brown. But he made me eat my words for a moment there. He's 2 legs up in this second set. And he's looking on course here to make it 2 sets in very, very quick fashion. This game has only been played for about 10 or 15 minutes, if that. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Oh, my Edgar as well. Edgar cruising in that game today. In fact, you've got to say probably one of the better performances of the first round so far. Just to be able to cruise and complete the game in quick fashion. But Keegan Brown here on course for a 180 to start off this 3rd leg. He's going to go for the treble 19. And gets himself 139 to start. Ryan Meikle here at 462. He's going to have to match that, or go one better. Starts off with a treble 20. Gets another one. Chance here for a 180 in the 5th of the game. He just can't get it. It's going to be a 140, which is certainly not bad. Matches up indeed with Keegan Brown on that 362, of course. Ryan Meikle at 322. The man we know saying there was some fun and tense matches last night. Yeah, do you know what? I had to watch on a perfectly legal stream. Definitely wasn't. I had to watch on, as I said, on a 100% legal stream. There were some pretty decent games last night. The Van Gerwen game was quite good to watch. I mean, fair play to Ryan Murray for pretty much, I wouldn't say majorly giving Van Gerwen a game, but he did his very best to keep him going for as long as possible. Danny Baggish was an incredible match to watch. Really good game, and I think that is probably one of the bigger shocks of the tournament so far for Damon Heta to go out. And I think even Damon himself will think he just started to come into form a little bit too late. And, you know, realistically, as much as we've seen games where, you know, players have produced incredible comebacks and gone on to win games, ultimately, I think that there was also going to be times where people started to look like they were going to come back and didn't, and Heta was one of those people. And Danny Baggish has got a very good game against a very out of form Adrian Lewis. And I'll tell you one thing, if Danny Baggish plays the way he did in that match, as long as he can finish, unlike the ending of that game yesterday, then he has got a very good chance of going into the third round. But then again, if there's one player who loves turning up at the World Darts Championship, it's bloody Adrian Lewis, isn't it? He loves to turn up and just kind of, not necessarily cruising games, but he just tends to turn up at the World Darts Championship and produce incredible performances. But Ryan Meikle here on 32. Keegan Brown on 126 needs a bull for a checkout. Oh my lord! What a checkout! That is beautiful! From Keegan Brown, who's gone 2 sets up, and I wasn't thinking he was going to check out that 126 there, but he does indeed, and it's a superb checkout there in the end. And well, Ryan Meikle probably thinks in his head that he could have easily had 3 legs in this set, but Ryan Meikle coming back, brilliant there from him. He goes 2 sets up, and as much as Ryan Meikle is doing everything he possibly can to get in this game, Keegan Brown is on fire right now, and as it currently stands, he's 2 sets up to 0 against Ryan Meikle. Back in a moment. And there we go, that is the second set done between Keegan Brown and Ryan Meikle, and what a fantastic game Keegan Brown is having right now. He just looks like no one is going to be able to stop him, and it's a very tough game indeed. Do tell me in the chat with that fact, by the way, the man with no name. But in terms of this game, as I said, Keegan Brown 2-0 up, cruising in this game, and as I was saying before, Ryan Meikle, literally, he's doing everything he possibly can to stay in this game. And it's not even a case of staying in this game. It's literally a case of he's playing pretty alright, Ryan Meikle. But Keegan Brown's finishing is probably, if he can keep to this rate, I'm not going to say the best of the tournament so far, but up there for the best of round 1. He just seems to be able to finish everything right now. And in terms of the stats before the players do come out onto the hockey once again for that potential final set, the averages so far, Keegan Brown averaging 96.97, Ryan Meikle averaging 92.92. It's not a bad average at all. In terms of the 180s, we've not had any in that second set, which therefore means it's still 2 apiece in terms of 180s. There's been 5 140s thrown from Keegan Brown, 6 140 pluses from Ryan Meikle, but it's the checkout stat that is crucial to look at this stage of the game. Ryan Meikle's checkouts, 33.33%, 2 out of 6. Not the best, but not the worst. But when you look at Keegan Brown's checkouts, 54.55. He's checked out 6 out of his 11 darts, and he's playing very well right now. It's going to be very, very tough here for Ryan Meikle to get anything in this game. You know, he looks in control. He looks very relaxed on stage, Keegan Brown. And as I said, probably one of the better performances we've seen of the tournament so far. In terms of the second set averages, 98.02 for Keegan Brown in comparison to a 93.73 from Ryan Meikle. 60% checkouts for Keegan Brown in that second set, and Ryan Meikle currently at 0%. He had 2 opportunities, but he wasn't really going to have much time, was he, when Keegan Brown is on absolutely scintillating form indeed. But both players about to come out onto the hockey once again here for the last potential set of the game. And well, apparently it was supposed to be the next game was starting off at 7:15, but with the way that this game is going on, we'll have this pretty much done by 7 o'clock and be on to the next game quicker than we expected. Which of course, we've had a lot of nights, I think the last kind of 2 or 3 nights, that have gone on past the original time they'd like to have finished the games. But it could be on for a quick night today because we've only got 3 matches to watch today. Clayton and Carlison, you can see on your screen, Carlison's been given a bye into round 2 because Clayton unfortunately got COVID, and then his replacement has a family member that has contracted COVID as well, which therefore means Carlison has been given a bye into the second round to play Danny Noppart. But both players back out to the hockey here. And Ben Peterson, thank you very much for joining us on stream. Hope you're all good. Says Glenda, a big player this year for sure. I mean, it wasn't a convincing performance from Portela, from Durant against Portela. But the thing is, you've only got to look back at the previous years. Take a look at Peter Wright, for example, last year when he won the World Darts Championship. Pretty much the majority of games he played were tight all the way. It was pretty much only, I think it was very rare there was ever a set or 2 sets between them. It was close all the way for the majority of his run last year. So you can still play, and I mean, Peter Wright didn't play bad, but you can still play a bit iffy and go quite far in this tournament. I think it all depends on who you come up against, but let's have a quick look at the stat, what you've put in the chat, man, with no name, or the fact. Of course, we're now underway with this third and potentially final set of the game. His real name is actually Adrian Wright. He took his stepfather's name, which is Lewis. His dad is called Sammy Wright. He was also a darts player. His dad walked out on him when Adrian was a young kid. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing in the documentary he talks about his dad a little bit. And I do remember him saying about his dad walking out. But it's an interesting fact to kind of to look into. And then Danny to put what's happened with Adrian Lewis. In terms of his form, if that's kind of what you're wondering about, his form this year has been awful. I think he's barely won any games. He's looked just out of confidence. And realistically, he's not the player he used to be 5, 6, 7 years ago. But times have passed on. But he always tends to, at the World Darts Championship, turn up and give a few decent performances here and there. I mean, last year we saw when he played, it was a Spanish guy, I can't remember the name of who it was, but nearly got a 9-darter against him, which is typical Adrian Lewis, isn't it, to turn up to the World Darts Championship and nearly smashing a 9-darter when he's probably one of the fairly out-of-form players in the top 32. But we're back on with this third set. As it currently stands, Keegan Brown 2 sets up to nothing against Ryan Meikle, and he's on course here to get the first leg of this third set on the board. He's at 47. But Ryan Meikle at 169 is going to put very good pressure on Keegan Brown. So Meikle down at 40, Brown at 47, and with the way that Brown's finishing has been today, you'd expect him to get this 47, which he does, spot on, first time, and that is a brilliant and simple checkout indeed. It just proves how good he's been today so far, Keegan Brown. He's steamrolling, as you would expect him to, in this potential final set, as he averages 96, Keegan Brown, in this game. But Mikal here, looking to try and get a 180 in this game, which he does indeed. That's a 180 on the board. The 5th of the match, and the 3rd of the game for Ryan Meikle, who's now on for a 9-darter. Can we see an attempt at the 9-darter? We'll have to find out soon. But Mystic Mac saying he thinks he's lost too much weight. Danny saying he needs to get some weight back. Mystic Mac thinking the same. And then the moment owner spot, I like Lewis, but to me he's too fat and unhealthy looking. Not being mean here, but Lewis runs out of steam real quick these days. And to be fair, I think it's not being harsh on him. I think he knows himself, hence why he's lost quite a bit of weight. I think he understands to a certain extent that maybe losing a bit of weight might give him a little bit of confidence. And if there's one player you can look at and think did losing weight help them a little bit in terms of confidence, with the body and how they are, Michael Smith, perfect example. Before lockdown, was quite, I'm not going to say fat, but quite a large person, very similar to Adrian Lewis. He took time in the lockdown, lost weight, has come back. You can clearly tell how much weight he's lost. It's impressive for Michael Smith and looks very confident as a player. And maybe for Adrian Lewis, it's a similar situation. If he can lose a bit of weight, he'll feel more confident in himself, and it'll help him kind of prolong his darts career. We've got a chance here for a 119 checkout from Ryan Meikle, and that is a brilliant, brilliant checkout indeed. He gets it, and we're 1 leg apiece in this third set, and that is a very good ton plus finish there. 116 from Ryan Meikle. Can he maybe get a set on the board and prolong this game? We'll have to find out indeed. As Keegan Brown only gets 58 to start off this third leg, gives a real opportunity for Ryan Meikle to jump on this and take advantage. Meikle starts with a 5, then a 20. He really needs a treble here, which he does get, and it's not a bad score there. 85 puts a not necessarily much pressure on Keegan Brown, but certainly means that Brown is going to have to get a few trebles on the board here in this third leg, which he does indeed, and gets himself a very good score, I think, in the 170s there. So Brown down to 326. and Mikal at 416 as it currently stands. Man with no name says Lewis is a big guy, but he has very low stamina and endurance. His life, if he wants to be unhealthy and eat, that's his choice. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. That's his choice. If that's the way he wants to be, then, you know, at the end of the day, it's his life. He can do whatever he wants. And, you know, he's had over the last few years people, you know, call him a pig and say he looks smelly and things like that. But he has to not take those kind of comments in. And I don't think he does. I think because he's been in the game for so long, it just brushes away from him. But it's one of those, isn't it? The man with no name saying losing weight too quickly can create more problems. Look at Andy Fordham. Lost a lot of weight quickly and it made him more ill. Yeah, true. It is very true. I guess it depends on how desperate you are to lose weight. I mean, the thing is with Adrian Lewis is he's lost a lot of weight, but I wouldn't say too much to go in the same way as what Andy Fordham did. But as you said, it can still cause more problems in the long run. But I think realistically right now he needs to really focus on his darts, because right now, in terms of his ability, you know, we know he's a good player. We know he's a good player on his day, but he's not the same player he was a few years ago. So Brown here on a 1-3-2, which he's going to set himself up here with Meikle back at 2-2-1. So he's going to have at least 3 darts here at 80 and a chance to potentially go one leg away from going into the next round. But Meikle here is going to try and pressure Brown with a 180, which he gets. And that's a very good 180. Real pressure now on Keegan Brown to check out this 80. This will be a big moment for him here. Gets 20. He's only going to get 1 dart at tops. Big chance here. Keegan Brown for tops. And he doesn't get it. So a chance here for Ryan Meikle at 41 to break the throw. He's going to go for the 1. So 2 darts at tops for a break of throw. Now he needs double 10. Big moment here for Ryan Meikle, which he doesn't get. So now Brown with a chance at the double 10 himself to potentially take himself 1 leg away from the second round. His first dart misses, but he's a good marker. And it's a very good marker indeed. And it means that Keegan Brown is 1 leg away from the second round, while Ryan Meikle is under the cosh now to get what would be a massive comeback. And he's going to start off here with a treble 20. Gets another one. Could be another chance here at 180, which he doesn't get. He gets the treble 5 and gets 135 instead, which is certainly not a bad way to start off this 4th leg of the 3rd set. Danny Mac saying he has oily skin, makes it look like he don't bath, but I leave people alone as long as you leave me alone. And then the man with no name said it's crazy that Lewis's last TV title was in 2012, the World Championship. A man of his abilities, mad to think about. Well, that's the thing. He is a good player on his day, and I do like to watch him, but we saw last year. Last year's a great example. He went on an alright run for Adrian Lewis, but realistically, it is sad to say that a 3rd round run for Adrian Lewis is not bad, because it just proves how much he's dropped as a player. But he's good on his day, and you know, will we ever see him get back to the form of the SDA? Probably not. Probably not, which is a shame, because the Adrian Lewis back in the day was a fucking tough player to play against. Was a bloody hard player to play against. All those times he was in the finals against the likes of course, Gary Anderson, Phil Taylor, and he was matching him for the majority of the games toe to toe. But I don't think we'll see that Adrian Lewis back. Not for a long time or ever. I hope so. It'd be nice to see it, you know, that Adrian Lewis who's confident come back, but I don't think we will indeed. But Brown here at 40. Keegan Brown at 2-1-4. So a real opportunity here for Ryan Meikle to take us to a deciding leg in this second set with tops, which he gets. And we're going to a deciding leg. 2 legs apiece in this 3rd set. And, well, if he's going to keep his hopes alive here, he's going to have to get this leg on the board, or else Keegan Brown will be going through to the second round of the World Darts Championship. It's a massive, massive leg indeed, as Brown gets himself down to 408 after 3 darts, and Meikle is going to have to try and put some pressure on Brown, which he already starts with a treble 20. And he can't get a 180, which is a shame, but 100 will do. at this stage of the match, as we're early on in this 5th leg of the 3rd set. Mamino name saying Lewis just looks dirty, greasy, sweaty whenever he's on stage. I guess as well, do you look at it and think maybe, is it, I know he's always kind of looked that way, is it nerves for him, which, you know, makes him look a little bit like that? As I said, you know, he's got oily skin as well, which probably makes him look a little bit more greasier to a certain extent. But is it a case of nerves as Meikle gets his 5th 180 on the board and he's not giving up without a fight here, Ryan? 7 180s in the match. Keegan Brown at 310 here. And Ryan Meikle at 221. And that is a 5th 180 for Meikle. Very, very good indeed so far. Lewis is not exactly getting any younger. He's been 35 has been on TV since he was 19. Exactly. You look at some players, right? You look at some players that have been around for a long time. And I think the great example is James Wade, of a player that's been, you know, in darts for a long, long time, and has always kind of kept his stature as a good player. You could maybe say players like Mervyn King as well, Whitlock to a certain extent. Probably maybe not Whitlock because he tends to kind of teeter up and down, but I think James Wade is a good example of a player who has kept a consistency to his game for a long, long time. But 1-2-1 check out here maybe for Ryan Meikle, needs a ball, which he won't get. So a chance here for Keegan Brown to win the match with treble 15, double 20. 85 checkout needed here. Gets a treble 19, which means 2 darts to the double 14. And that is the match. And Keegan Brown, you have to give credit here to Ryan Meikle. He had a fantastic performance in the game. He tried his very, very best against Keegan Brown. But ultimately, in the end, it was a solid performance on his checkouts, and although Ryan Meikle hit 5 180s in this match and was very, very confident on the stage, I think you can even see with the reaction of both players right now, I think even Keegan Brown is thinking to himself, how did we not have another set in this game? But in the end, it's a 3-0 win for Keegan Brown, a clean sweep for the night for Brown. Ryan Meikle, very, very unfortunate to at least not get a set on the board. A brilliant game indeed. It's 3-0 to Keegan Brown. We'll be back in a moment to talk about that game and prepare for our next match, which is a very good game. Jeffrey Zwaan taking on Ryan Searle. But in that match we just watched a moment ago, Keegan Brown 3, Ryan Meikle 0. Back in a second. And then we have the first game of the night. It is a shorter World Darts Championship session today because of a few COVID incidents that have been going on. But we've started off with a very quick game indeed. I mean, we've not even hit 7 o'clock yet, and we're already down to our final 2 games of the night. But what a fantastic performance there from Keegan Brown. A very, very good game indeed from, of course, the ranked player in the world, the 35th ranked player in the world. A solid performance from him. And in terms of the game, let's talk about the statistics of this match. In terms of the averages, a 98.02 average from Keegan Brown in that game. Ryan Meikle with an average of 93.73, which, to be fair, in some occasions in the World Darts Championship round 1 matches would have probably got you through the game in terms of an average score. But realistically, we have to talk about. Sorry, actually, I've got that wrong. My bad. I was originally still on the second set. In terms of the actual averages on the board, it was Keegan Brown with 93.81, Ryan Meikle with a 96.66. That would have probably won you the majority of games with a good average like that. I was accidentally still on the second set, which therefore means I was wondering why it was a 98 average there from Keegan Brown. So Ryan Meikle with a better average, but ultimately, the one stat to look at, we'll talk about in a second. You can quite clearly see why Keegan Brown won this game quite comprehensively well. In terms of 180s, there were 7 in the game, 2 for Keegan Brown, 5 for Ryan Meikle. Did very, very well indeed there to get quite a few 180s on the board. In terms of 140 pluses thrown, Meikle got 9, Keegan Brown with 6. In terms of 100 pluses thrown, 26 for Keegan Brown and 28 for Ryan Meikle. But the most important stat on the board is the checkouts. Ryan Meikle with 36.36. That's 4 out of 11. And Keegan Brown, 56.25. That surely has to be one of the better checkout averages that we've had in the first round of the tournament so far. 9 out of 16 of his darts checked out in the game. And that is clearly obvious as to why he won this game. Very, very good indeed in terms of his checkouts in this match. And you have to give credit to Ryan Meikle there because, as I said before, 96.66 in terms of an average, 9 times out of 10 would get you through a match. But ultimately, in the end there, Keegan Brown just being so good on his checkouts meant that Ryan Meikle had no real opportunity to be able to get in this game. And in the end, as the man we know him said, Ryan outscored him. He completely outscored him in every category, but Keegan Brown was just better at finishing. And in the end, he gets himself a 3-0 win, which I think is very harsh on Ryan Meikle to not get a set on the board. And in terms of the reaction in the background when the game had finished with Keegan Brown, I think even he kind of was standing there with Ryan Meikle and saying, how did you not maybe get a set on the board at the very least? But first game of the night is done and dusted as we just hit 7 o'clock, which is a very quick night indeed. It's looking like it's going to be. In terms of the other games coming up today, on the right hand side of your screen, the order of players you can see right now. Clayton versus cancellation is not happening. We've had the first real kind of spout of COVID-19 with players. Clayton, the player who is believed to have contracted COVID after a test, so he couldn't come in. They did have a replacement, however, the replacement has a family member that has contracted COVID as well, which therefore means that Cameron Cancellation has been given a bye into the second round, which means Cancellation will be playing off against Danny Noppar. I believe that game is on December the 22nd. But ultimately, in the end there, a very good win for Keegan Brown, who will be going on, I believe, to face Dave Chisnell in the next round of the competition. And it's a very positive performance from him indeed, and a very good game overall. And to be fair, I think the man we know name saying that 3-0 win was very flattering. It was an alright match, but when you look at the stats, it kind of wavers towards Ryan Meikle. It was just the checkouts that were so good there from Keegan Brown. But as I said, he will go on to face Dave Chisnell in the next round of the World Darts Championship. That is on December the 23rd, so it should be a very good game indeed. And if he can keep up with those types of checkouts, it's going to be an interesting game between him and Chisnell, because we know Chisnell is a very, very good player on his day. But let's go on to the next game now, because we're flying through tonight's action, and we've got another really, really good game coming up next. Now, if Chris is in the chat, which I don't think he is, usually he kind of pops up in the chat and sends a few messages. This is the one game that we were looking forward to immensely. Two of our outsider favourites, Jeffrey Zwaan taking on Ryan Searle. It's heavy metal against the 23rd ranked best player in the world. And this is going to be a very even game. Jeffrey Zwaan, probably one of the outsiders to go far in this competition and maybe be one of those unexpected players to go on a good run. Ryan Searle was the player that I expected to go on a little bit of a run in this World Darts Championship. But ultimately, mine and Chris's two kind of darts players that we expected to do well have come up against each other, and one of them is going to get knocked out a little bit later on tonight. The question is, who is that going to be? Put your predictions in the chat for this game. We'll talk about it more in a second, because if you're new to the stream, as always, and you've enjoyed this watch along so far, then do leave a like and a subscription. I've just noticed that somebody else has subscribed to the channel. Thank you very much indeed. Gareth Bale Hart on me. It means we are nearly about 85 subscribers away from 1,500, which is very exciting indeed. But we've got plenty of content still to come on the Sports Corner channel. There is loads of stuff, in fact, to come over the next kind of couple of weeks. If you're into your darts, we've got more World Darts Watchalongs to come over the next couple of days before we get that little break in 3 days' time. So we'll be live tomorrow once again from 6:10, I believe, for the next session. Of course, tomorrow we are into in fact, tomorrow we've only got an evening session. We don't have an afternoon one. Christoph Ratajski taking on Ryan Joyce. Ian Diamond White, that is, taking on a very good-looking Kim Hybrex. Going price for the first time, he's coming up against Jamie Lewis. And then Gabriel Clemens is going to be coming up against another German, of course, Nico Kurz. That'll be a very interesting game to watch indeed. But we've got other content as well. We've got some live football watch-alongs to come over the next few days. I believe the next football watch-along we've got is Arsenal-Chelsea on Boxing Day. That'll be a very good match to watch. We've also got a live watch-along coming on the 2nd of January. Celtic taking on Rangers. We have a wrestling podcast which is available every Tuesday. The next episode of that will be live around about 11:30 on Tuesday. And then we've also got some NFL watch-alongs coming next year for the NFL playoffs, which isn't too far away at all. But both players getting ready to come out here for the next match of the evening. Jeffrey Zwaan taking on Ryan Searle, and this is a fucking great game in my opinion. As Man With No Name said last time, he's put it in the chat now, Ross Noble, his lookalike, on the stage here for what it should be a very, very good match indeed. In terms of your predictions, in the chat, Mystic Mac has gone for a 3-1 Searle win. Danny Mac going for a win for Ryan Searle as well. And the moment no name saying his outside chance is Devon Pedersen. Be interesting to see when he plays actually. When's he playing? Because it's got to be soon, hasn't it? There we go. Evening session on December the 22nd, round 2 against Steve Lennon. That should be a very good match to watch indeed. What a night that is. That's going to be a great night. Paul Lim versus Dimitri Van den Berg. You definitely know we're going to be covering that one. But let's talk a little bit about Jeffrey Zwaan here, because this is not going to be an easy game for either player. I think this game could go 3-2. I'm going to go 3-2 to Searle, but I'm backing him here. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jeffrey Zwaan wins this 3-2. I think both players very, very good on their day. We've only seen one of them play so far, which of course was Ryan Searle in a 3-2 win against Danny Lowry Jr. What a game that was. That was one of surely the better games of the tournament so far. As for Jeffrey Zwaan, we haven't actually seen him play since November time. His last game was a 10-7 loss to Mikal van Gerwen. Since then, he hasn't played a match in this tournament. Can you put a picture of Ross Noble on the screen next to Searle, please? Yeah, go on then. Give me 2 seconds, Lou. Let me get the picture of Ross Noble. Well, let me get it. Where is it? Ross Noble. Let me save it. So, big opportunity in this game for both players to go through to the next round. Of course, we don't really know who they're going to be coming up against yet. If anybody does know in the chat, then definitely give me a heads up here, because we know obviously the bracket is set up. But let me get that picture of Ross Noble on the screen. There he is, Ross Noble, next to Ryan Searle. Let me make that bigger for a second. They literally look alike. Look at that. I know you can't really see Ryan Searle. Unbelievable. But we're underway with this game now, as Ryan Searle takes on Jeffrey Zwaan. Should be a very, very good game, this one. Should be a good game indeed. And I think Ryan Searle, one of those outsiders who could go on a very, very good run. A very, very good run indeed. But Jeffrey Zwaan, as I said, he's an outsider who will be expected himself to go a little bit further in the World Darts Championship. A player who has always been on the cusp of becoming a very good player, and he certainly is a very good player. He's ranked 23rd in the world, but he's still got a long way to go until he becomes one of the very best and elite players at the PDC World Darts Championship. And he's got a good chance here of going into the 3rd round of the World Darts Championship. But we're off and underway here. Jeffrey Zwaan on 2-4-7. Ryan Searle at 3-1-5. And as I said, I feel like this game could just quite easily, go every leg and every set all the way and have an absolute thriller to watch on the night. The question is, have I got the audio? And I have indeed. I thought I hadn't got the background music on there, but I have. Which is very good indeed. I wanted a bit of background noise on, so if I am a little bit quiet at times, it makes up for the silence. Because sometimes you do get a little bit focused when these games are on. But Zwaan here at 1-5-1. Gets himself down to 32 here. Ryan Searle all the way back at 160. So he's probably going to get at least 6 starts here at the double 16. And a good opportunity for Zwaan to get the first leg on the board. Needs double 8s. Still needs double 8s. And he doesn't get it. So good little opportunity here for Ryan Searle. Needs to check out the 160. It would be one of the higher finishes of the tournament. And well, he's not going to get it. Because he hits 1 and 19 to kick start. And well, it's a little bit of a slow start here for Ryan. Down at 120. Still better than I could ever play. He's already down at 120 after about 12 darts. I'd be still at bloody 400. So there's one here. Double 8 needed. And he doesn't get it. That's 6 darts now missed. At the double 8. And Ryan Searle now at 120. Still a little bit too far behind. Still got a little bit of time here. And he's got a chance to Ryan Searle. Oh! Well, Jeffrey Zwaan has just been outclassed there. Ryan Searle, who was just a little bit behind in terms of his score. He was at 120. Zwaan had 6 missed darts at the double 8. And Searle capitalised and checked out the 120 there. And that might just put him into a little bit of a rhythm here. And kick-start this match between Jeffrey Zwaan and Ryan Searle, who's currently 1 leg up, of course, Ryan Searle. I mean, I think Josh looks like Paul Nicholson. Who else thinks this? We get the first 180 of the match, though. First 180 on the board. And it goes to Jeffrey Zwaan, who is down to 187. A very, very good start to this second leg of the match. But in terms of me looking like Paul Nicholson, I mean, let me get a picture of Paul Nicholson on the screen for those of you that maybe don't know Paul Nicholson, the darts player. Let me add it on. Where is it? Let me click image and add. Got a chance here though for a 127 checkout from Zwaan. He's not going to get it in the end. And there's an opportunity here for Searle to go 2 legs up already. So that's Paul Nicholson. So I'm going to put that picture next to me. There we go. Let me move to the side. Apparently, I look like that. Very slightly. Very slightly look like that. But what's happening here is that Ryan Searle is already 2 legs up on the board in this first set and looking very confident indeed in this match. Jeffrey Zwaan, not a good start at all as we get another 180 on the board. And Ryan Searle flying here. He's on for a 9-darter. But Zwaan here. Oh, 180 of his own. Paul Hinks, he's going to shout the 180 again. Both players on for a 9-darter, which Searle isn't going to be able to get. Can Zwaan get a 9-darter himself here? We haven't had really many opportunities at the 9-darter. The answer is no, as he hits a 5 to start off with his 4th, 5th and 6th darts. I mean, Danny Mac's disagreeing. He's saying I don't look like him. Maybe I will when I'm older. The man with no name disagreeing and saying I do. You're an identical twin. I am actually an identical twin in real life, so technically be a triplet. As we get another chance here at 180 for Jeffrey Zwaan. Gets 140, so Zwaan down at 56 here. Ryan Searle at 150. And this has got a very good pace to the game so far. Really good start to this match. So a chance here for a leg on the board for Jeffrey Zwaan. 16 and tops needed. Starts with a 7, which means he's only going to get 1 dart here. Oh, well, actually he's not. He's hit a 3, and that's poor start for Jeffrey Zwaan. And there's a real opportunity now for Ryan Searle to set the first set of the game from a 94 checkout. Gets treble 18. Needs tops here. And doesn't. And Zwaan has a little chance here to get a leg on the board. He's been really poor with his finishing so far. But he doesn't miss this time with a double 16. And Ryan Searle, who had an opportunity to take the first set of the game, has let Zwaan back in this match. 2 legs to 1 still to Ryan Searle, but Zwaan with an opportunity in this game. Chance here for a 180 though from Zwaan. Oh, it's 180s tonight, left, right and centre. You love to see it. Left, right and centre. It's another 180 this time for Jeffrey Zwaan. He's on for another 9-darter in this game. Potentially. He's not going to be able to go for it though, but it's a very good start indeed. Mystic Mac has put Searle looks like he rocks out of every weekend after 10 pints of cider. He's a great darts player though. He's got 100 here. And this game has got a really good pace to it. Of course, the Black Cobra, Zwaan, a very, very quick darts thrower. So this game will probably be done once again very quickly, and we're down to the last match of the night already. Oh, nearly just dropped my my controller there. Chris is in the chat. How are we doing, buddy? He says, hi, pal. Hope you're well. Sorry I'm late. My 8-month-old niece is stopping round. I'm getting her into the darts too. Trenny Young, Chris. Trenny Young. Has we got a chance here for a 180 on the board? Oh, it's a 140 there for Jeffrey Zwaan. He's down to 81 here. Searle at 270. Hope you read my joke, Josh. Let me have a look at it. I once had a threesome with identical twins. The blonde one was great, but a twin was so much better. And then an all-round great guy. Fuck's sake. Oh no, Jeffrey Zwaan is 2 legs apiece in this match. Checking out an 81 there. Fuck's sake, man, we know a name. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We love a joke in here. If you've watched the football watch-alongs before, we have a guy that comes in called Peter, who tends to put the worst jokes I've ever seen in my life in the chat. They're bad, and he knows they're bad, but he tries his best, bless him. But Trenny Young, Chris. Trenny Young into the darts, and what a good game this has been so far. 4-6-1 here for Jeffrey Zwaan. Ryan Searle at 3-3-2. 2 legs apiece in this match. And then Chris has put, could have missed this game, our outsiders against each other. It's been a good start to this game. And realistically, we should have only just started this match, because the other game, this game should have actually started at 7:15, but because the other match finished so quickly, we're already into this game and nearly a set through, which is mad. So we probably, depending on the way that this game's done, might be done for like 9 o'clock at this rate. It's an early night for me, as we have a chance here for a 180 from Ryan Searle. He gets 140, so Searle down here to 52. Zwaan at 240, which means he's going to get at least 6 darts here. Although, real opportunity for a 180 from Jeffrey Zwaan, and it's another one on the board. And that's 5 in the first set. But Searle with a chance at 52 checkout, which he gets. And that 180 there from Jeffrey Zwaan was for nothing. The 52 checkout from Ryan Searle has put him 1 set to the good in what was a very, very enjoyable set. 5 180s on the board in that first set. Zwaan with a real potential nervous start to this game. His checkouts were very poor indeed. We'll talk about that in a second, because as it currently stands on the board, it's Jeffrey Zwaan 1. Not Jeffrey Zwaan 1, it's Ryan Searle 1. Jeffrey Zwaan 0. Let's talk about that game in a moment. Take a quick break. That is set number 1, done and dusted already in this game. It's a bloody quick night, isn't it, this one? As you can understand, Jeffrey Zwaan 1-0 down to Ryan Searle in this match. Let's take a look at the stats of this game. So far, it's been a very, very pacey start to the match. Jeffrey Zwaan averaging 100.76 in comparison to Ryan Searle's 89.23. There's been 5 180s in the match, and 4 of them are already going to Jeffrey Zwaan in this game. He's from 7 140 pluses to Zwaan and 1100 pluses. But we'll come back to the checkout stats in a moment, because Ryan Searle, he's got 180 so far, 4 140s and 1100 pluses from. It's the checkout stat. Once again, he's coming into play here. Ryan Searle with 60% of his checkouts, that's 3 out of 5 darts. As for Jeffrey Zwaan, 25%, that's 2 out of 8. 6 of those darts being at that double, I think it was the double 16 earlier on that he missed, didn't it? Well, it was a very, very poor start indeed there for Jeffrey Zwaan in terms of his finishing. But in terms of the actual game himself, you don't change anything up right now. 100 average. If he can keep up at that rate, you've just got to hope that his finishing improves, and that will be a potential, not quick win on the board, but a chance at least at a comeback. As for Ryan Searle, an 89.23 average, not the best, but not the worst. I think, as I said, this game is going to go to a deciding leg in every single set, as we did a moment ago there. But as it currently stands, Jeffrey Zwaan 1-0 down. If you're new to the stream, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. It is very, very greatly appreciated as we push towards 1,500 subs on the channel. But the players will be back out onto the Oki in a moment. and we'll be underway with the next kind of set of this match. And we've only got one more game tonight. If you're wondering why that game between Clayton and Cancellation is off, I know I keep saying it, but for any of you that are jumping in, of course, a little bit later on into the stream, and you're wondering why does it say that Cancellation has been given a bye into round 2, because of the situation with COVID, Clayton was had a, of course, COVID test, came back as positive. They did have a replacement for Clayton. That came back, unfortunately, for his replacement. He didn't have COVID, but one of his family members did, which therefore meant that he couldn't play. So Cancellation has been given a bye into round 2, where he'll come up against Danny Noppart. So that game was off tonight. Brown and Ryan Meikle already playing a very, very good game indeed. It was a 3-0 win to Keegan Brown. Played fantastically well on his checkouts. A very simple game for him, although Ryan Meikle did very well indeed to try and push him all the way in that match, but didn't even get set on the board in the end. And then, of course, we've got this game between Zwaan and Ryan Searle. As it currently stands, Ryan Searle with a 1-set lead on the board. And Zwaan with a 100+ average. The question is, will Zwaan's checkouts improve, or will Ryan Searle take advantage of that poor start from Zwaan, and maybe we might see another 3-set win, and this game be done in the next 15-20 minutes as well. Let's find out as both players are back onto the oche and back playing. The 23rd best ranked player in the world, Zwaan, 1 set down to Ryan Searle. And the last thing he'll want to do here is get knocked out in the second round on his first game. Chris has put in the chat, I will give Man U credit. At least they closed gap on Liverpool to 5 points. Well done to them. I'll make a medal and trophy for them saying we closed the gap. Jesus Christ, don't say that when the KD's around. Mammy No Name says 15,000 quid's in his pocket without having thrown a dart. Exactly. She's mad indeed. 15 grand in the bank. Nice and easy for him. And then Chris put, it's a shame Claymaker, very good player. He's indeed. It's nice indeed. And then Denny Max put, I was raised when someone speaks to you, speak back, and I thought people in England had manners. Guess not. Hey, I mean, it's one of those. It's one of those. People, it depends on the person, doesn't it, really, Danny Mac? It depends on the person. It depends on the person, indeed. But chance here for Zwaan. I've got really itchy eye. I really apologise. Got a very itchy eye. Let me put the background music on. Because of these lights I've got on, I think. Because we've got a chance here for 180. And well, I'll put that music on a second. Because we got a 180 on the board there. And Zwaan down at 68 here. With a checkout, needs double 8. Now he needs double 4. And he's bust. I think he scored. Which means Searle here on 78 has an opportunity to check out and take the first leg of this second set. Needs tops. And gets tops. Which means Ryan Searle takes the first leg of this second set. And I did buy some new darts today, actually. I got some new darts. They're not anything special, like, but I got some Phil Taylor darts today. Because I was using some, like, average darts at best, but I got some Phil Taylor ones. Very nice indeed. Hit a bullseye, I think. Wasn't nowhere near. But yeah, Zwaan under the cosh a little bit. Chris putting this is Zwaan all over. His doubles let him down. That's why he hasn't reached his potential. As we've got a chance here for another 180 for Ryan Searle, which he can't get. He's down though to 261 after 6 darts. I'm going to take that dart out of the board, so he doesn't, of course, damage my board. But both averages here. Zwaan now down to 93.93. Ryan Searle at 92.76. So a slight improvement there from Ryan Searle. A slight decrease in the average for Zwaan. Maui no name, but you don't play darts, do you, Josh? In terms of playing it, not necessarily. I don't get to play it like a lot. I tend to just sit there and just endlessly chuck darts at the board for like an hour or so. But I did use that knacker, what you suggested, Chris, to play a few people online, and I average. What's my average? Let me have a look. I'm just going to go on the knacker for a second. In terms of my average, let me put away. I average 45.27, and that's in about 4 games. So yeah, I'm not a very good player at all, but I don't tend to get to play it a lot, as we've got a chance here for a 180 for Zwaan, which he gets. And that's the 7th 180 of the match. Well, he might not get a chance here because Ryan Searle needs double 4, which he gets. And Ryan Searle is 2 legs up to the good here against Zwaan, and he's finishing has been really poor tonight. Jeffrey Zwaan and Ryan Searle is potentially on to go 2 sets up in this game. But the man with no name, of course, he said it very perfectly earlier in the stream. 2 sets leads don't mean anything in the World Darts Championship. And you're spot on indeed. Man with no name said, Josh, 26 average. You might as well place screwdrivers into the board, lol. Hey. I mean, my average, as I said, 45.27. It's probably a lie, isn't it? As I said, I can't play darts. I know Chris obviously plays it very well indeed with an average of 80, but I only recently got my dartboard. When I mean recently, it was about 2 months ago, but I guess most people play darts for like, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, Chris, he said it himself, has been playing it for 10 years plus now, and has, kind of progressively learned over time how to improve as a player. I've had this for 2 months, so I'm slowly learning. I mean, 45 average is pretty poor, but the good thing and I like about that knacker is that there tends to be a lot of people who are kind of on a similar level, which makes it more enjoyable when, we've played about 50 darts and we're still trying to check out. As Zwaan checks out double 20 here to get a leg on the board. 2-1 on legs. It was a very similar situation like this before. The question is it going to be 2 legs apiece once again, or will Ryan Searle get that 3rd leg on the board and go 2 sets up? Massive leg here. 45 average per dart. Let me have a look at the stats here, as there's another 180 on the board. Oh, he's on for a 9 darter now. 8 180s in the match, and Zwaan, he knows how to hit the 180, but he doesn't tend to know how to finish, which is a bit of a problem for him. It's alright hitting the 180s, but if you can't finish, then you're going to let Ryan Searle back in the match. No 9 darter chance there for Zwaan though. But in terms of my stats, an average of 40, just as average of 45.27. I've played. Oh, was that the last game I played? I'm actually genuinely bad. Highest finish so far, 51. First 9 darts, 47.78. I'm not a good player. I'm not a good player at all. But just 1 down at 47 here. Ryan Searle with a chance to check out 130. Oh, what a checkout that is! 130 checkout from Ryan Searle, and he goes 2 sets up in this game. Well, it could be a quick fire evening at this rate. 2 sets to 0 to Ryan Searle, and Jeffrey Zwaan, he's really under it right now. A lot of pressure on him. A lot of pressure indeed. Back in a moment, as it currently stands, Jeffrey Zwaan 0, Ryan Searle 2. Are we on for another potential shock on the night? We'll have to find out soon. 2-0 to Ryan Searle. Two sets out of the way. This is going to be a quick fire night at this rate. We're done by bloody 8:30. 2 sets up as it currently stands for Ryan Searle in this game against Jeffrey Zwaan. And I have to say, Zwaan looking very good on the averages, but just can't seem to finish right now, while Ryan Searle is looking hot on form in finishing. Let's have a look at the statistics after 2 sets. In terms of the averages, Jeffrey Zwaan is averaging 101.9. That is one of the best averages we've had of the tournament so far, but he's 2 sets down. As for Ryan Searle, he's averaging 93.85. There's been 6 180s for Jeffrey Zwaan, 2 180s for Ryan Searle in this game. But it's the checkouts. Once again, I'm coming back to that stat, and it's the thing I've pretty much been alluding to in both of the games that we've had so far tonight. 60% of checkouts for Ryan Searle, that's 6 out of 10. As for Jeffrey Zwaan, only 25%, that's 3 out of 12 opportunities at checking out that he's been able to get so far in this game. And realistically, you can sit there and have 102 average, look classy, look brilliant, but realistically, if you can't check out in these games, you're going to let your opponent in if they're checking out. Yes, Ryan Searle's average is a little bit under the 102 that Jeffrey Zwaan's on, but he can finish. And right now, is proving very, very good indeed. As we said before, 2-set leads, very dangerous. We've seen it multiple times in the World Darts Championship so far in this first round. Players going 2 sets up, feeling comfortable, confident, in control of the game, and then after that final break that we've had, the opposition player comes out and starts to play a little bit more. Do I think Jeffrey Zwaan can do that? Absolutely. I think he will. Personally think this will go either 3-1 or 3-2. I'll probably stick with the 3-2 I said before, but realistically here, Ryan Searle just seems to be able to finish everything, while Jeffrey Zwaan seems to be able to finish nothing, and it's costing him big time right now. And it means, depending on what happens in this next set, this game could be done by 7:45, and we could pretty much be done, as I said, by 8:30. I might as well just bloody order a takeaway now, because we'll be done by the time it's arrived. But let's have a look and see what you guys have been saying in the chat while we've had a little break indeed. At the moment, no name saying I would destroy you, Chris. And then Chris said to play him. And then Mummy No Name saying it's annoying for me when I lose to players I'm better than, and then beat players who are on my level or better. Who else has this happened to, lol? I had a game yesterday on that knacker. I will, as I said, I put my hands up and say, look, I'm a shit player. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm a very good player at all, but I think it was at a stage where I think the guy was at about 201, and I think I got one like 120 to put himself down to, what would that be? 81. I matched him up, I think, with 120. So he was on for the checkout of an 81, which he then didn't get. I think I then tried checking out the 81, left myself with 51, and then checked it out in the end. It was a good way to end the game because it was two legs apiece at that stage, and that was the leg to win it because I was doing first to 5. But I felt proud of myself, which is quite sad to say. Checking out 51 and being proud of myself. I'm not a good player, do you know what I mean? I'm average at best, but we've got 2 very good players on the hockey right now. We are back underway in this game. As you can understand, there's Ryan Searle 2 sets up. Are we about to have one of the quickest nights at the World Darts Championship you've ever seen? I personally doubt it. I think we'll be going all the way. But Jeffrey Zwaan, he might have got 6 180s on the board, but he can't finish. Ryan Searle might have not. Ryan Searle might have not got many 180s on the board, but he can finish. And that has been the difference so far in this game. But there's 1 on 401. Ryan Searle down to only 363 after 6 darts, which Zwaan will capitalise on. Not massively. Gets 85 and puts himself down to 314. So 87 he got there. And Searle needs a treble, which he gets. So 97 there for Searle. He gets himself down to 266. Can Zwaan capitalise? He gets a 1. Gets a 19. He really needs a treble here, which he doesn't get. And this really does give an opportunity for Ryan Searle to steamroll in this game. If he can get a few trebles on the board, he gets 1 treble 19. Gets a 19 under 20. So a little bit of a slow start to this first leg of the 3rd set. I'm seeing what you guys have been saying in the chat. Jesus. I'm so good, I don't need a dartboard to beat you. So good you haven't thrown darts in your life. Throwing darts at your wall doesn't count. My board has took a beating over the years, Chris, and so will you when I finish with you. Oh, I love the fighting talk. We've got a chance here for a 170 finish from Ryan Searle. And he doesn't get it in the end. But he will have at least 3 darts at the 32 to take the first leg of the 3rd set. Thank you very much to whoever's just left a like. It's very greatly appreciated. And there's a few dislikes on the channel. People hate me. Double 16 needed here though. Down double 8. For Ryan Searle for the first leg, which he doesn't get. So a little opportunity here for Jeffrey Zwaan to check out the 80. Starts off with the 20. Gets another. Needs tops for a leg, which he doesn't get. So double 8 on the board here for Ryan Searle. He's got 3 darts at it. Now needs double 4. Good marker. And it's a great marker indeed because he gets the first leg on the board. And I've got to say right now, Ryan Searle looking full of confidence in this game. Looks calm and composed. And as this game continues to go on, and if Ryan Searle can get another leg on the board, which I mean even now he's heavily leading this game, will Jeffrey Zwaan just start to feel more and more pressure? Or will Ryan Searle feel the pressure because he's only started off here with a 4-7-3 after 3 darts, and well, he started off very poorly in that original first leg of the 3rd set, yet still came out with the leg on the board. It's an interesting game, this one. Jeffrey Zwaan just seems to be every time Ryan Searle drops a few, darts here and there in terms of his numbers, low numbers, Jeffrey Zwaan seems to match him up. And he's not taking advantage of the moments where Searle's getting, 50s and 60s. Every time Searle's getting them, Zwaan's getting the same. And Searle here with 2 treble 19s on the board, and he's down to 218. Zwaan at 314. And are we about to see the 23rd best ranked player in the world as it currently stands knocked out by Ryan Searle, who, as I said, was an outsider for me, and is certainly delivering to his name right now. So Searle down to 124, Zwaan at 218, needs to get a treble on the board. He gets 2 trebles, in fact, he gets 180 on the board. So 38 for Zwaan, but a 124 here for Searle, gets treble 20, gets 14, needs the bull, and gets that outer ball. So a chance here at double 19 for Jeffrey Zwaan to get a leg on the board in this 3rd set. Gets 19. Gets another one. And he's bust his score. Well, just proves how poor Zwaan's been. And it's a chance here for Searle to capitalise on the double 4. And he capitalises on the double 4. And Ryan Searle is 1 leg away from going through to the next round of the World Darts Championship. And that there from Jeffrey Zwaan hitting the 19 on the 38 just proves how poor he's been tonight so far. Really, really poor indeed performance from Jeffrey Zwaan. The way that this game is going, of course you can't count Jeffrey Zwaan out of the game yet. Essentially speaking, he could still win this leg and set at the very least, of course. But with Ryan Searle, he's going to have to at least win the next 3 legs on the bounce. And to be honest with you, with the way that Ryan Searle has been playing right now, you would expect him to get a 3rd set and go through. But Jeffrey Zwaan responds here. He gets 180. And that will put Searle under a bit of pressure now. Can we maybe see Zwaan come back and get a leg on the board and give him some confidence at the very least? Gets a treble 20. Gets another one, surely not another 180. Oh, now he's out to play. Where's this Jeffrey Zwaan been? 2 180s in a row. He's down to 43 with Searle at 264. And this is a real chance for Jeffrey Zwaan here to check out the 43. Needs double 16 and gets it. A leg on the board for Jeffrey Zwaan. He needs to win the next 2 on the bounce. And he gets a break of throw as well. Starts off here with treble 20. Gets another one. Not another 180. Oh, gets 140. I love the pace of Jeffrey Zwaan. He throws at such a quick speed. It's relentless indeed. But a chance here for a 140 from Searle, which he gets and matches the 140 of Zwaan. And surely he's not going to hit another 180 here. He won't. Gets 19.5 and a 19. And this is an opportunity for Ryan Searle to break away in this 4th leg of the 3rd set. He gets treble 20, treble 1. And another treble 20, and now this could be the chance for Ryan Searle to take the game, but Zwaan's not stopping here. Gets 140. It's a very, very good 4th leg, this one. So Zwaan at 178. Searle with a chance here at 180. Oh, how about that? In a pressured moment from Ryan Searle. 180 on the board, and he's down to 58, which means he's going to have at least 2 darts here at the double 20. To win the game. Tops for a 3-0 win! And Ryan Searle, he took a moment to just step back and ask the match referee he'd won the game. But Ryan Searle, heavy Meikle darts on display. He goes through to the next round with a 3-0 win in a fantastic performance where Jeffrey Zwaan never really was able to show what he could do. But you've got to give credit to Zwaan because he averaged 99.8, but his finishing was so poor. And Ryan Searle there, the outsider, for me, of course, to go far in this competition, whitewashes Jeffrey Zwaan 3-0, and we're on course for the quickest night in the World Darts Championship that I've ever fucking seen. It's only 20-8, and we've got 1 game left. Oh god, it's a quick night. But a good win there. 3-0 to Ryan Searle. Back in a moment and we'll look at your comments. 3-0. Big win. That is game number 2 done of the night. Game 2 of 3. A very quick night indeed. This is going to be at this rate. I've only been live for an hour and a half, and we're pretty much nearly done and dusted already. It's mad, isn't it? Let's have a look at your comments in the chat before we talk about that game. No doubt Sky Sports will probably pad the hell out of this next game, of course, between John Henderson and Jonny Clayton before it actually starts, just to get the run time that they would have probably expected originally. But let's see what you guys were saying in the chat. Welcome to the stream. David Teague says, who did you fancy for the tournament, Shag? I'm probably going to say, I said originally Gerwin Price versus Van Gerwen in the final, Van Gerwen to win. But I said I'll give a proper opinion once we've seen all the players playing round 2. But that was my original kind of Thursday guess for the final. But let's see what you guys have been saying as well. David asking, who do you fancy for the next game? It's a tough one, this one, because John Henderson had a lot of work to do in that previous game. It was a very tough match against Marco Cantele, and he didn't make it easy for himself to get through to the next round. But on his day, we know how good John Henderson is. You never know. I think Jonny Clayton is a tough man to come up against, but I think this will be a 3-2. Maybe it's just a night of 3-0 set wins across the board, and we're done within record-breaking time. But ultimately, I think Clayton will win. But I'd like to see Henderson win. I'd love to see Henderson win and go through to the next round. But I mean, David's saying Hendo for the Scots. If he wins, then I think there'll be a lot of people celebrating indeed, and I'll probably be one of them celebrating with you all. But hopefully, we should have a good game on our hands here. But we've just watched, of course, the match between Jeffrey Zwaan and Ryan Searle, and what a game it was for Ryan Searle indeed. Let's talk about the statistics of the match overall. In terms of this game, Jeffrey Zwaan averaged 99.8, but ultimately in the end, his finishing was just so poor on the day that it realistically cost him. Ryan Searle's average for the match was 92.72, which certainly isn't bad at all. You cannot complain with that. Highest checkout of the game for Ryan Searle was a 130, with Jeffrey Zwaan only checking out an 81. But let's talk about the checkout stat, because that's where everything was really counting on for Jeffrey Zwaan to go through to the next round. Ryan Searle, 45% of checkouts. Not bad at all, 9 out of 20. As for Jeffrey Zwaan, only 25%. That's 4 out of 16. And this will be a World Darts Championship campaign that Zwaan will want to forget incredibly quickly. Not a good game for him at all, if we're being honest with you. He got 9 180s in the match to Ryan Searle's 3, which, great hitting the 180s, but if you can't check out, then realistically those 180s mean absolutely nothing indeed. And well, Ryan Searle there coming out with a 3-0 victory. Didn't expect a whitewash. As I said, I expected every game to go to the last deciding leg, but Ryan Searle there dominating the game, and as Chris has put in the chat, Josh 1, Chris 0, Josh Outsider wins. Come on, we love to see it. Hopefully, Ryan Searle can continue on go on a little bit of an extra run in this competition, but we'll have to find out, of course, as we get later on into the competition. But if you're new, as always, then don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. Is very greatly appreciated as we push towards 1,500 subscribers on the channel. If you're wondering when we're going to be live, again, I will be live tomorrow night. I'll be in a different situation because I'll actually be at home, so we're not going to have the green screen that I've usually got on in the background, which is a real shame. It's going to look fucking awful tomorrow night, I'll tell you that for sure. But we've got 4 games tomorrow. Of course, we're into the second round now. This was we had the last round 1 game to start off the evening. But Krzysztof Ratajski will be taking on Ryan Joyce in the second round. Ian Diamond White will be taking on Kim Huybrechts. What a game that one's going to be, especially with Kim Huybrechts with I think it was like 106 average or something stupid in that game he played a few days ago. Gerwin Price, we're going to see him for the first time at the Ali Pali. He's coming up against Jamie Lewis. And then Gabriel Clemens is coming up against Nico Kurz in that second round fixture. That is tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And then, of course, went back pretty much to round 2 fixtures, and it does mean on December the 22nd there will be a 12 o'clock stream and a 6 o'clock stream, because we'll have the afternoon games and the evening games too, so do keep your eyes out, because it will be getting very relentless on the channel over the next couple of weeks and days as the tournament, of course, continues on. David Teague saying bad season for Zwaan. It's been a shocking season for him, hasn't it? And the thing is as well, it pretty much sums up what Chris said before. That Zwaan is a very good player on his day, but in terms of checking out on his doubles, he's really, really poor at it. And it proved costly, because Ryan Searle was just on fire on the night in terms of his finishing. The man with no name's asked, you ever hit a 180, Josh? I haven't, unfortunately. I haven't. I was being very close a few times before hitting a 180, but unfortunately, I haven't hit one yet. And I'm hoping with these new darts that I've got, the tungsten darts, that I might eventually hit one in the end, but I feel like I might be waiting a long time until I hit a 180. If you're not at home, where are you? Currently at uni, in my uni accommodation, with my green screen up, which makes life very easy for me. Because if I turn the filter off, where is it with the webcam? It is just a filter in the background that I've got. There you go. I'm turning off chroma key. Wow, it's just green screen on in the background. But yeah, I'm currently in my uni room with my dartboard, which I'm going to be missing for a few days, which is quite sad to say, isn't it, to be honest? But it's Christmas, yay. I think Ryan Joyce is the bet of the year. 11-5. It's not bad, that, actually. It's quite a decent shout, that. I wish I could bet. My gambling account is closed. I can't do any betting right now, which is a real shame indeed. I can when it hits February, though. But let's move on to that last game, because this one will be getting underway soon. And as I said before, we are pretty much flying through the evening. It's been a very, very quick night overall. It's only 7:45. I've only been live for an hour and a half. And usually, we're live for about 4 hours. But, you know, this is probably going to be about 2.5 hours, maybe even less than that. But we've got another game coming up now. And it is between Jonny Clayton and John Henderson. And this is going to be a fantastic game to watch indeed. Jonny Clayton, of course, the Welshman. We saw him at the World Cup of Darts not too long ago. The Welshman linked up with Gerwyn Price. Did very, very well indeed, of course. Fantastic player. Ranked 17th for the world. He comes up against John Henderson. And in terms of John Henderson, as I said before, that previous game he played against Marco Cantelli, he made very, very hard work of. You know, Cantelli was averaging around 70, and John Henderson was averaging around 85, and realistically, he just couldn't seem to be able to finish. Now, it's a different day. He's had time to kind of sit back and practice, but Jonny Clayton is a much better opponent, so he's not going to be given John Henderson those opportunities realistically, where if he misses doubles, he's going to have extra chances with Cantelli lacking behind. You'd expect Jonny Clayton to go on and do well in this game. And realistically, I think Jonny Clayton will go on and win this. I think 3-1, maybe 3-0. I mean, Chris has put in the chat, he thinks Clayton 3-0. Do tell me in the chat, of course, what you think is going to happen in this game. But what is so crucial here for Henderson is his finishing. He has to get his finishing spot on tonight, or else we could see another whitewash on our hands in a very quick evening overall. Yeah, I'm allowed to stream at uni, the man with no name. I've got all the setup that I need for it, which I paid for and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm allowed to stream at uni. I kind of class it as a uni project, which allows me to get away with things. But it's all good in that respect. I could stream anyway, to be fair. I was last year anyway. And in terms of why I can't bet, David, is I stupidly shut my gambling accounts down last year and locked them for a year out of absolute stupidity. So my accounts come back in February, so I ain't got long to wait necessarily before they come back, but I just can't bet on anything right now, which is very annoying, or else I would have been chucking loads of stupid bets on the World Darts Championship, hoping I can make a bit of cash at the same time as these games were going on. But the two players are about to come out. Of course, John Henderson, with his incredible status quo song, of course, rocking all over the world, coming out for the next game of the night, the final game of the night, of course. If you're wondering why we've only got 3 games today, Clayton not playing against cancellation because Clayton had contracted COVID, and then his replacement had a family member that contracted COVID as well. So we won't be seeing cancellation play until the second round. He's been given a bye, which we'll see him against Danny Noppart. Of course, Brown in a 3-0 win against Ryan Meikle early on. Good game that was for Keegan Brown. And a 3-0 win for the Ryan Searle. Good and bad night for the Ryans, isn't it, really? And then, of course, Jonny Clayton. He's coming out now. Ranked 17th in the world. As for John Henderson ranked 41st in the world. In terms of their records recently, Henderson comes off the back of 4 wins in a row. Of course, beat Cancellation 3-2, which is a very good result for him indeed. As for Johnny Clayton, we haven't actually seen him since 28th of November, which he played Michael van Gerwen and lost 6-4 to. But since then, hasn't played a match. It'll be interesting to see what happens in this game between Clayton and Henderson. I mean, I'd like to see Henderson go through. He is a PDC favourite, isn't he, Henderson? He's like Paul Lim to a certain extent, isn't he? You know, everybody loves him. Very, very good player to watch in his day. But we're about to get underway in a moment with this match. John Henderson 300 to 1 to win this competition. As I said, beat Marco Cantele 3-2 in a really, really tough fought game, you have to say. As for Johnny Clayton, hasn't actually played in the World Darts Championship so far. He's currently 125 to 1 to win it, which I think is not that bad at all, in my opinion, actually, for a player that's ranked 17th in the world. He's been to the 3rd round 2 times before and been knocked out. So for a player like Johnny Clayton, he will be expecting to go on a much better run this year. But we said that about Jeffrey Zwaan, and he lost the game. The question is, are we going to see a much tighter match, or is this going to be another whitewash and we were done by bloody 8:30? Let's find out either way, as we're about to get underway with this game between John Henderson and Johnny Clayton. What a lovely, lovely evening it's been so far. It's made my life easy. Means I can get a takeaway earlier. Get in. Everyone's a winner. So here we go then. Both players now underway in this match. Johnny Clayton taking on John Henderson. And it's not the greatest start there for Johnny Clayton. Only gets 42 with his first 3 darts. And could you say to a certain extent for players like Johnny Henderson, for example, Johnny Henderson, Johnny Clayton, mixing them together as John Henderson gets 180 on the board. Already perfect start to the game. And Johnny Clayton here trying to get a 180 of his own, but that is the 250th 180 of the tournament, which is certainly impressive indeed. And Henderson not going to be able to get a 9-darter as he hits a 21st time. We want to see a 9-darter before the end of this tournament, don't we? It would be nice to see at least one at some point, or an attempt at the very least would be lovely indeed. MVG is still a go. MVG was given a game last night. I know scoreline was 3-1 MVG, but Murray was in the game against him. Yeah, do you know what? I agree with you. You know, Murray was in that game against him yesterday. I think it was one of those games where had Van Gerwen not been on his A game slightly, we could have seen that go to 2 sets a piece and been an interesting game overall. And I'll give credit to Murray because he did very, very well indeed to be able to stick with him for the majority of the match. But chance here for a 1-2-1 check out for Henderson. And he's nowhere near with the ball, which he needed. He gets the 15 instead. And Clayton here on a 1-6-4 isn't going to be able to check out. So chance here for Henderson to take the first leg of this game. 3-16 for the 35 check out. The first leg on the board. He's going to go treble 11, which is not what he wanted there. And he's confused himself. Means he's going to have to get a double 1 now. Not what he wanted there. So double 1 for John Henderson. Good marker. And he gets it. And well, he's probably one of the more obscure checkouts we've seen of the tournament in terms of how he got it. 35 checkout on a treble 11 double 1. Don't think you've heard that one before. And he's got a little smile on his face there, John Henderson, for one of the more bizarre checkouts of this tournament so far. Well, fair play to him there. He's 1 set on the board. And a good confidence booster there, of course, for the Scot. MVG has to win the Worlds or has to go further than Right and Price to keep his number 1 rank. And he does indeed, so no pressure on him in that respect. I loved MVG interview after the match. I'm back. Do you know what, though? He's world number 1. He's allowed to say stuff like that. He's the Zlatan Ibrahimovic, isn't he, the darts? Not as bad as Zlatan, but you know what I mean, roughly. He likes to come out with confident comments. And he can say what he likes. He's world number 1. He's the best player in the world right now. But Johnny Clayton here, just starting a little bit slow in this game. Only down to 3-1 after 6 darts. And as I said before, I think sometimes you look at it, and although, you know, these round one fixtures can be the hardest fixtures to come up against, you know, especially if you come up against debutants and players like that, you know, these guys will have been practicing for many weeks. As I said, Clayton hasn't actually played a competitive game since the end of November, so it's pretty much been a month for him to kind of have a break and relax and prepare for this tournament. To a certain extent, could you say it's a little bit costly not playing a round one fixture because you don't have the momentum to come off? You don't have that experience in playing a game in the way Ali Pally. I mean, you've got past experience, of course, but in the current competition, you've not had a game yet. Could it be costly? Maybe so. I mean, Henderson, as I said, will come into this with a little bit of confidence. Yes, that game against Marco Cantale was a pretty not boring slog, but a boring slog for Henderson because he should have been off stage about 50 minutes before the game had actually finished. But it does give him a little bit of confidence in this game. But Clayton here at 218, John Henderson at 209. Henderson, of course, with one leg on the board. And Clayton just struggling a little bit here to kind of get a foothold of this match. He's down to 1-2-4, but you would expect Henderson to put some pressure on as well. Gets a treble 7 and a 20 and a treble 19. So Henderson down to 1-1-1 here. Both players very even in terms of the scores that they're on, and you would expect Clayton here to have another 3 darts. He gets himself 92. So the Welshman down to double 16. Henderson going to have to try and check out this 111. Gets a 20. Gets a 17, which means he's not going to be able to check out in the end. And an opportunity for Clayton to make this one leg apiece and break straight back. Double 16 needed, and he gets it. And that is a leg on the board for Jonny Clayton, and that will be a very important leg on the board there for the Welshman. That first leg, just a bit of confidence in this game, and he might start flowing now. And when he's on for a 180, which he doesn't get, and gets 140 in the end there. Not bad at all indeed. John Henderson here at 501 starts off with a 60. Not the best start as indeed. Clayton on for a 180 here. Gets another 140. Good start from Clayton. Very good start indeed. Chris has put MVG could be number 3 in rankings if Wright goes further than MVG and Price wins Worlds, which would put Wright number 2 and Price as number 1. How mad is that? How mad? The thing is, you never know. You never know what could happen, because I was going to say it's not likely, but it genuinely kind of is likely with the way that Wright and Gerwin have been playing. It could happen, but imagine that. Michael van Gerwen, the 3rd best player in the world. It just doesn't feel right, does it? It feels weird indeed. And then Chris put, just shows MVG blip start of the year. Might cost him number 1 spot. Very true indeed. Very, very true. Luckily MVG turned up at night time. At the right time by winning Players' Championship. Yeah, he had to win that. He had to win it. And he picked up the perfect kind of victory in the Players' Championship at that point to make sure that he try and at least retains his world number 1 spot. But Clayton here on for double 20, which he gets. And for the first time in this game, in this first set, Jonny Clayton takes a lead. 2 legs to 1. And John Henderson now is the man under a little bit of pressure in this game to go out there and take this to a deciding leg for the first set. I mean, once again, another player actually, we were talking about it earlier, wasn't we, with players losing weight. I mean, John Henderson, we talked about it in that first game he played a few days ago against Marco Cantale, how he looks like he's lost quite a bit of weight from the last time kind of we've seen him in a major competition. He's good to see, but once again, as you guys alluded to and we talked about earlier, it changes the style of throw potentially for him a little bit, and of course it'd be interesting to see how he adapts to that weight loss, and it's good to see, of course, him lose a bit of weight. I know it is one of those situations where, again, very similar to Adrian Lewis, there are some people out there which, you know, do take the mick out of him for his weight, but he's a good player, Henderson. But Jonny Clayton at 320 after 6 starts. Henderson at 257. But Clayton gets a 140 on the board. Good start there for the Welshman. Down to 180. Has a chance here to take the first set of the game. And Henderson now just looking a little bit shaky, I have to say. Just looking very shaky indeed. Only gets 35 there, Henderson, which means Clayton here is going to have 6 darts at 180. If he can get a decent finish on the board here, which he gets himself down to 80, and he's going to have at least 3 darts at that 80. Big opportunity here for Clayton to take the first set of the game and put pressure on Henderson here. What can Henderson do though at 2-2-2? Gets a 20, gets a treble 18, and gets another one. So good bit of pressure there from Henderson, down to 94. Clayton's going to have to check out this 80. He gets the treble 20. Now needs double 10 for the sets, which he gets. And that is the first set on the board in this game between Jonny Clayton and John Henderson. And Henderson, who took a lead at the beginning of this game through a quite interesting 33 checkout. He checked out on a double 11 and a treble 11, I think he got in the end, or something like that. It was a very weird checkout indeed. But since then, he's never really been able to acclimatise to this game. And ultimately, Jonny Clayton is looking very comfortable in this match so far. As it currently stands, Clayton 1, Henderson 0. We'll talk about the statistics of that first set in a moment. That is set number 1 out of the way between Jonny Clayton and John Henderson. And pretty much what you said in the chat, David Teague, is spot on. How poor is Hendo so far? Let's go through the stats and we can kind of work around it. As I said, realistically, it's one of these games where it's looking like this will be done by about 8:30, maybe even earlier. Jonny Clayton currently averaging 95.02. It's a very good start indeed for the Welshman. John Henderson only averaging 82.48. It was a very interesting start. He got that weird 33 checkout, which was quite an interesting checkout and a very different one, of course. It was a nice way to start the game, a bit of a funny moment. But ultimately, since then, put the jokes aside, he's been very, very poor indeed. He's hit 140 plus. He's hit 7 100 pluses. And realistically, because he's only averaging 82.48, he's struggling right now. As for Jonny Clayton, I said before, 95.02 average to start off this first set. Very comfortable indeed. 100% on his checkouts so far. Checked out all 3 darts in the situations he's had. As for John Henderson, he's only checked out 33.33%. That's 1 out of his 3 checkouts so far. Realistically, Henderson has some work to do here. He's not really done much in this game so far, and it's going to be a very tough game indeed if he wants to get anything, or else we're going to be done in the next 10 minutes, and I'm not going to lie, I'm already preparing my Chinese order because I never expected us to be done this early. Let's have a look to see what you guys have been saying in the chat right now. Chris saying he was shocked that Devon Heta got knocked out. I know Baggish was a good player from seeing him in the Worlds last year. Didn't expect him to be one of the most informed players this year, Devon Heta. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I watched that on a perfectly legal stream, and it was one of those performances where Devon Heta just came into the game a little bit too late, and as much as we've seen players come back from 2 sets quite recently, there was always going to be the one person who kind of got into the match a little bit too late, and unfortunately for Devon Heta, that was the situation where it was just a little bit too late in the match to come back in the game. And then Man of No Name has put maybe losing the number 1 spot would help MVG in the long run. It would give him a goal to strive for. Yeah, that's very true. I think as a world number 1, when you've kind of won everything, the ambition there and the drive isn't going to die down because you want to win everything. You want to dominate the game. But I think, as you said, if he drops down a little bit, even if he dropped down to a number 2, it would give him so much more fight to get that spot back. And I think we'd see the best of MVG. Every player's gone on a blip. Eric Bristow went on a little blip. Phil Taylor went on a little blip. MVG's on a blip himself. But you never know. He could easily go on and win this competition. He's just that type of player, isn't he? And then David's put Hendo not the same man as 3 to 4 years back. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a shame because, if you look at his averages so far in the tournament, he's probably, in both games, averaging around the low 80s in a match, which is certainly nowhere near good enough to be able to win against somebody like Jonny Clayton, for example. But I'm going to try and sort out my order for a Chinese as well while we're rocking here, because both players are back out onto the Oki. And I might as well sort out my order because this game's going to be done soon, isn't it, if we're being honest with you. It's been a very quick game indeed, hasn't it? So far, though, one set up. Jonny Clayton against John Henderson, who's going to be throwing first in this set. The question is, can he get a set to his name, or are we going to be seeing, for the third time tonight in all of our 3 games, a 3-0 win? We'll find out as this game continues on, and Henderson starts with a 60. But Clayton now on for a 180, and he gets it. 180 on the board for Jonny Clayton. He's on for a 9-darter opportunity, and that's the second 180 of the match. But Henderson going to look to respond here with a 180 of his own. And he doesn't get it in the end. It was an opportunity for the treble 20s there. Oh, chance here though for Henderson. He's on. He's on for the 180. We're on for the 9-darter. Here we go. We got an opportunity. He's on for a 9-darter. Well, this could make up for a pretty quiet night so far if Hendo was to get a 9-darter. And he's not going to get it. Oh, you little fucker. He got the 20. He didn't get the treble 20. He only got the 20 there. And that's the first, real opportunity we've had for a little bit of time now in this game to see a potential 9-darter. But he's down to 46 here. And he's on course to get this first leg with Henderson back at 1-3-2. The title is basically his anyway. MVG ambition is to win back-to-back world titles. He hasn't done that yet. No doubt he will win in his career. MVG wants to win his title back this year. Yeah, he does. He does. That's MVG for you. He's a hungry player, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what makes the best players in the world, world number ones. When they've got that desire to keep winning, even when they've won so much. But there's a chance here at 1-3-2 checkout for Henderson. He needed the bull, but only gets the outer bull in the end. And a chance here for Clayton to get the double 4. Good marker for his second dart. And it is a good marker indeed. He gets that first leg of the second set on the board. And it's very, very good start indeed for the Welshman in this second set, who looks on course for a potential second set on the board here. But Henderson there nearly checking out a 1-3-2. I mean, Chris put 9-darter is good, but better hitting one in front of the crowd. Oh, absolutely. I mean, when Peter Wright hit the 9-darter and there was no one there, it's depressing, isn't it, really? You want a crowd there to see the reaction, and hopefully, when we have the Premier League of darts back, maybe we might have some fans back in stadiums again. But, with the way that this country is right now, we'll probably never have fans back in stadiums ever again. Unless it's football. So, Clayton down here to 301. Henderson at 380. On for a 180 here, though, Henderson. Which he gets. And the 180s are flying tonight, you have to say. That is the 4th 180 of the match. And I'm pretty sure it's the most 180s we've had. And there's a chance here for Clayton for a 180 as well. He gets himself 140. So Clayton down here to 161. Henderson at 200. He's going to have at least 3 darts here at the 161. Henderson only gets 60. So you'd expect here Clayton to have at least 6 darts at the 161. He will go for it though. Gets 20. Needed, can't actually check out in this situation. Gets himself a treble 1. And only gets 43. So a good opportunity here for Henderson with a 140. Gets a 20. Gets a treble 20. He's not going to be able to check out, but he leaves himself in a very good position. So Henderson down to 40 here. Clayton at 118. He's going to have to check it out, or else you'd expect Henderson to get a leg on board. Gets treble 18. Gets the 18. Double 20 for a 118 check out. Oh. Just wide of the mark. Good chance there for Clayton. Which now means Henderson on tops for a leg on the board. Now needs double 10. Now needs double 5. Third time lucky? No. And that sums up Henderson with his finishing throughout this tournament. And Clayton here with an opportunity to go 2 legs up in this second set. First dart is a little bit too high, but the second dart is in that double 20. And that is a very, very good dart indeed there from Jonny Clayton, who is 1 leg away from having a 2-set lead in this match. And, well, time here, of course, is just running out for John Henderson to get anything in this game. He's looked a little bit nervous tonight, you have to say. A little bit nervous indeed. And Big John, as I said, he's running out of time here. it's just one of those, isn't it, where it's like, I don't think he can get anything in this game, if I'm being honest with you. I really don't. He's struggling big time. He's struggling big time. Let's have a look at what you guys have been saying in the chat. Only 3 people have won back-to-back titles. Lewis, Anderson and Taylor. Spot on there, of course. MVG has been number 1 since 2014. That is some achievement. Not many will do that. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, you look at the likes of Phil Taylor and stuff. I think only those types of people could do it. Bristow as well. Also, Barney, Adams, Bristow and Durrant have won at least back-to-back world titles. And Taylor was number 1 for 13 years. MVG could surpass that. Just 7 more years to go for MVG to do that. And the thing is, realistically, with MVG as well, is he could still lose the world number 1 spot, then get it back and probably go on a run himself. He's a mad player. He's a mad player indeed. Taylor would not have been number 1 for 13 years if he had to face today's dart players. And I agree with you on that. I absolutely agree with you on the man with no name. That is something I can agree with you completely. I think in this day and age, you know, Phil Taylor, great player. You know, let's be honest, he's a great player in his day. But he would struggle against some of these players. The bracket now in the World Darts Championship is so open with so many good players. And not even the World Darts Championship, but across the board in any competition. There's so many good players about these days that it is literally impossible, I think, to not get yourself into some tricky battles against players. And I mean, look at MVG. At points, he's struggled against some of the very best. It's tough for them. It is tough, but it just shows how good the pool of players are right now. But Jonny Clayton here, down to 96. Henderson on the 109, gets the treble 20, needs the 17. He's gone for tops instead. And he gets tops. And that is a leg on the board for John Henderson. An important leg that could be. Jonny Clayton, 1 potential leg away from a second set. Only gets 66 to start off this 4th leg of the second set. And if John Henderson can get himself a leg back in this game, will it give him a little bit of belief that he can go on and get a set and make it 1 apiece and make things more interesting? He starts off with a 97, which isn't a bad score. Not the greatest either. What can Clayton do here? So Clayton with 100 to get himself down to 3-3-5. And John Henderson just has to keep with the motive right now of trying to match Clayton's scores, if not go 1 better. Of course, we saw in the Premier League when he was in that challenger category against MVG, one of the best probably nights we've seen in darts in terms of the atmosphere. Incredible atmosphere against MVG. But Taylor's only challenger was Barney when Taylor was in prime years. And then, yeah, exactly. I was going to say that what man with no name says. Barney's head went. And what do you guys think about Barney coming back? Because as much as Barney says, no, I'm coming back because I missed the game, let's be real. It's absolute bollocks. He's back for the money, isn't it? The money's run out. He's back for the money. You know, at the end of the day, he could have quite easily retired and never played the game again. But I think realistically, he's kind of slowly dropped down the world rankings and things like that. I personally think he's back for the money. You know, he's very similar to kind of boxing and UFC fighters retiring and then coming back out of nowhere. Money talks these days. Money talks. But Mami Nonames asks, do you think Barney will get a tour card next year and actually win something? I mean, I think he could get a tour card. I think the one important thing for Barney is he needs to make sure he doesn't go the same way as what he did before and just constantly complain. But I'll stop for a second because Clayton's on here for 72. Gets treble 16. Now needs double 12 for a second set on the board, which he isn't going to get. And a chance here for Henderson to make it 2 legs apiece on a double 4. Big opportunities in this game. Double 4 needed for John Henderson. Now needs double 2. He's going to have 2 darts at it. Now needs double 1. And he doesn't get it. And well, I said big game-changing moments because now there's a chance here for Jonny Clayton with a double 12 to go 2 sets up in the game. Good marker for the second dart. He needs double 6. And he gets it. Jonny Clayton, 2 sets to the good. I'll talk about that in a second. But in terms of Barney stuff, I think he's a long way from ever winning anything again. He's back for the money. And realistically, he's one of those, I think, where if he can stop whinging and moaning all the time, which will come back, no doubt, at some point, then, you know what? God knows what will happen with him. But I think, yeah, there's a Chris's put. Won't win anything now. Barney only there for money. And he's bored with life currently, which I think we're all bored with life right now with COVID, realistically. But as he currently stands in this game, Jonny Clayton 2 sets to the good up against John Henderson. We'll talk about the stats of this match. It could be done very soon, but as it currently stands, it's Clayton 2, Henderson 0. Are we on for a good game here? Well, we'll have to find out. We are back, and that is the second set done between Jonny Clayton and John Henderson. As it currently stands in this game, Jonny Clayton is 2 sets up to the good against John Henderson. This game has pretty much been like the rest of the games tonight, if we're being honest with you. One player kind of driving away. Well, actually, then again, probably I won't say it's been the same as the other games tonight, because if we're being honest with you, this game has probably been a little bit different to the rest, because, you know, realistically, the first 2 matches that we watched, you know, you have to give credit. The other players been competing fairly well, and, you know, not bad. John Henderson's been playing. That was a much better second set than it was a first set for Henderson. In terms of the match statistics, Henderson averaging 86.14, which is certainly an improvement on that original first set. In fact, he averaged 89.64 in that second set, which is a massive improvement on the 82 he got in the first. As for Jonny Clayton, get it right, Josh. He's averaging 90 exactly in the match so far. 2 180s for both of the players, but it's the finishing, it's the checkouts once again. 40% for Jonny Clayton so far, 6 out of 15 checkouts. John Henderson, it is pretty much the same story what we said about in the game against Cantelli a few days ago. Only 18.18% on his checkouts. That's 2 out of 11 opportunities to check out in this game. It's just not gone his way so far. And in terms of that second set, highest checkout was a 109 for Henderson, but his checkouts overall was 12.5%. And you know what? Jonny Clayton's checkouts there was only 25%, 3 out of 12. But realistically, he's got a big foothold of this match. And as it currently stands, Jonny Clayton is 1 set away from going through to the next round of the World Darts Championship in a night which looks like he's going to end with 3 games finishing 3-0. Keegan Brown with a 3-0 win over Ryan Meikle earlier on today. There was a good win for another Ryan though, because Ryan Searle beat Jeffrey Zwaan 3-0 in a very, very good game for Ryan Searle indeed. And then of course Jonny Clayton, the 17th best player in the world, seeded man of course, is currently 2-0 up against John Henderson, and that is looking like we are getting a little step closer towards that game being done and dusted and out of the way. And well, as I said, it's been fairly easy right now for Jonny Clayton to kind of just steamroll on in this match and not really have much of a competition at all with Henderson. But he was much improved in that second leg of the Scot. Can he get something in this match, maybe make it 2-1 sets and make things interesting, or are we going for another clean sweep? That is the question. Both players back out onto the oche, and we are underway with what could be potentially the final set of the night. I've only been live for 2 hours, and we're pretty much nearly done. And Clayton going to start off here with a 140 in this first leg, and I can't believe how quick we're pretty much done. We're going to be done by, I'd assume, nearly 8:30, depending on what happens here. But 121 for Henderson here. Let's have a look at what you guys have been saying in the chat while I've took a little moment there. You notice that both Taylor and Barney's wives left them. They were together for a long time. Barney's dating a woman half of age now. I saw that. I know it was quite a while ago when he started dating someone that was younger than him. But I remember, of course. Apparently that's made his life better. Okay, well, you know, it'll make your life better, but is it going to make your darts better? That's the question. Remember when Barney was getting picked for Premier League, even when he wasn't informed, he didn't deserve it? Yeah, and it's exactly what the man with no name says. They pick him because of the name. And do you know what? It's understandable that they pick him because he is a big name, ultimately, but he finished bottom as well. Speaking of Premier League, who do you think will get the spots? I think MVG, Price, Wright, Smith, Aspinall, Durant, D'Souza, Van der Beer so far. Do you know what? I mean, it's... If you look at that in terms of the players that you've picked there, Chris, how bloody tight is that Premier League table going to be? Are we going to see like another repeat of this year? Because there's so many good players in there. It's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. So many players in that. Absolutely crazy. But John Henderson here with 26. Double 8 here for Clayton to take the first leg of the second set. And I tell you what, I'm ordering my Chinese now because I tell you something, this game is going to be done in 10 minutes, I think, if I'm being honest with you. He doesn't look at the races tonight, John Henderson. Really doesn't look at the races at all. As much as his average has been very, very low indeed, he just can't seem to finish right now. And Johnny Clayton is potentially steamrolling here to a 3-0 victory on the night. And he's not really being tested by Henderson at all. And, well, you've just got to take the advantage of the situation. When a player's been poor, you've got to make the most of it, and he's doing exactly that right now. When Henderson, averaging around about 80, well, it averaged 89.6 in that last set, currently averaging 77 in this third set. It's not been his game at all. As oh yes, Chinese is coming. We love to see it. So that's my food ordered, and I guarantee you that this game will be done before then, unless Henderson does something incredible here. I would love that lineup. Scrap relegation in Premier League. Yeah, that's the thing. With a lineup like that, you wouldn't want to see any of those players get relegated in the end. But I'm hoping by that point, with the Premier League, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, and I doubt it, as I said, that when the Premier League of Darts comes to Leeds and Sheffield, which I think is in April and May, I'm hoping by that point fans can go. Because if fans can go, even if it's social distancing and stuff, which it would definitely will be at that point, I still would love to go. Yeah, it might not be the same atmosphere as usual, but it'd be nice to be able to just go to the Premier League of Darts. So I'm hoping by April or May time, maybe I've got a chance to go to some of the Premier League Darts, because, as I said, I really, really want to go to as many darts kind of tournaments and stuff as I possibly can. But what a lovely checkout that is from John Henderson. 1-1-2 checkout there to get a leg on the board. It's one leg apiece here in this third set, but he's come back a little bit late here because Johnny Clayton, if he can get this next leg here, he'd have to win 2 on the bounce, Henderson, without giving Clayton any opportunities in the game. But it's one of those. I want to go to as many darts tournaments as I possibly can. I want to go to the one in Blackpool next year. I want to go to the World Darts Championship if we're not in a COVID situation this time next year, which I bloody pray to God that we're not. And I want to go to the Premier League as well. Go to as many of those as I possibly can. Going to bloody UK tour. Soban unknown could win this and get into the Premier League. It's unlikely, but still possible. And I mean, Rob Cross won it unexpectedly. You never know what can happen. That's the thing. It's such a good competition, the World Darts Championship, because as much as we get the likes of Van Gerwen and Taylor over the last couple of years winning it, there's still so many unexpected moments in games and unexpected winners in competitions. It makes it so fun to watch. I was hoping to go to the Newcastle one this year, but COVID ruined that. It's one of my dreams to actually be at the darts. Yeah, as I said, I'm hoping I can go to as many as I possibly can. Like, I wanted to book tickets for them now, but realistically I thought to myself there's no point, because I'll wait to a later date and see what happens by that stage, because we could quite easily be here in March, April time still saying the same shit we have been now. And with the way that this government is, we probably will be. We'll still be sat here with no fans at the Premier League of Darts. They'll be behind closed doors again in Coventry. But chance here for a 1-on-1 checkout for Clayton. Doesn't get it, which means he is down to double 8. Henderson here with a chance to take a break throw, of course, of Clayton here. Treble 15, double 10, gets 15. Gets 20, which means he's going to have to go for the bull. Oh, that is lovely. He gets the bull. That is a beautiful 85 checkout from Henderson, and he's just starting to get a bit of a feel in this game now, Henderson. A 112 a moment ago, and now an 85 from the bull. And that is certainly a confidence booster for John Henderson here, as he looks to try and push and get a set on the board, as he goes for a 180 as well. And only gets a 140 there. And Clayton now under a little bit, well, still a little bit of pressure. I mean, he's still leading in this game by 2 sets, but he will definitely want to get this next leg on the board and take this down to a deciding leg and really put pressure on Henderson. But he's on for a 180 here. Henderson, good opportunity in the game. He gets another 140, so he's down to 2-2-1 here after 6 darts. Clayton all the way back at 401. He's got a real opportunity here to get a set to his name. Gets a treble 5, Henderson. He's at 2-2-1. Gets 20. And he really needs a treble here. Just analysing the situation, takes a step back and only gets a 19. So an opportunity here for Clayton to try and push back in this game. Gets a treble 20. Really needs another one here, Clayton, which he doesn't get. And down to 2-4-2. So Henderson's going to have at least 6 darts here with the 167. Gets a treble 20. Gets a 19, which means he's not going to be able to go for the 167 here, which would have been a very good checkout in the end. But he does leave himself with a tidy 40. With Clayton all the way back at 2-4-2. So a good chance here for Henderson just to extend this game slightly and put a set on the board. His finishing has become much better, you have to say, as this game has continued on. First dart's a good marker. Second dart needs double 10. And he gets the double 10. And he has a set on the board. And this is a good opportunity for Jonny Clayton here. Sorry, for John Henderson to try and come back in this game. And at least we're not having 3 games ending 3-0 tonight, or else it was going to be a very quick evening indeed. Chris, I couldn't go another year of this COVID starting to do my head in. Oh, honestly, I think he's getting to a point now where everybody's just had enough of it. Everyone's had like absolutely enough of it. It's so annoying. I've been to see the darts twice. Yeah, hopefully 2021 will be a better year, and I'm going to try and go to as many tournaments as I possibly can. But Henderson now really starting to get into this game. In fact, he's on for the 180 here, which he gets. 180 on the board. That's the 5th one of the match. And a big 180 there for John Henderson as he looks to try and push back in this game. Only 45 for Clayton there. He's at 3-5-6 after 6 darts. And well, Henderson here gets a 25 and then gets a treble 20. Does really well there indeed to make up for the 2 poor first darts. Just call him Hendo. I'm so used to saying Henderson because of Jordan Henderson for Liverpool. I'm so used to it. So Henderson here. See, told you I've done it again. Hendo here at 136. Going to have at least 6 darts so he can leave himself with a reasonable checkout. But he started with a 20 and a 5 and he's going to really need a treble here on the board. Although, as I said, with Clayton back at 3-1-1, we're not going to see any opportunity. And Henderson only gets 30. Which means Hendo at 106 here. Clayton at 311. Could get a 180 here to put pressure on Hendo. And he doesn't, but he does get a 140. So Hendo here at 106. Clayton still only at 171, so he's going to have at least another 6 darts here. Starts off with a 20, Hendo. Gets treble 18, double 16 for the first leg of this 4 set on the board. And he doesn't in the end, so Clayton's still behind here. He's going to have at least 3 darts at the double 16. And what can Clayton do here to put pressure on? Starts with a treble 20-20 and a 17. So Clayton down to 74. Hendo down to 32. 3 darts at the double 16. And he gets the double 16 first time. Very, very good dart indeed. And now the pressure will begin to build on Jonny Clayton as Hendo gets more legs back in this match. Have you guys got any plans for Christmas? I'm spending time with my family. Don't care what these clans say. Apart from going home for probably about a week. That's it really. Just going home for Christmas for a week. I was going to come back originally at the beginning of January, but for the convenience of streaming, a convenience of space, I'm going to come back early. So I'll probably be back in this room by December the 28th when we do a few more of the live streams. With the, of course, I think that'll be the second night, I think, of action after that little Christmas break. So I should be back here again. But Hendo has gone berserk indeed. He's got a 140. He's doing really good here. We were saying a few moments ago how he looked very poor indeed. He's really getting back into this game. And Jonny Clayton, your favourite word, Danny Mac, he's under the cosh. So Henderson here at 261. Clayton at 245. I'm kind of worried now. If this game goes on, I might have to go and run out and get my Chinese if it comes. So I apologise if I have to do that and the game ends with me not being there. But it's alright. It's got another 40 minutes at the very least. It might come earlier, to be honest. Just keep my eye out on my phone. Keep my eyes out, indeed. So Clayton at 186. Hendo at 180. Clayton really needs to get this next leg on the board. You've got to put some pressure on Hendo right now because realistically, the longer you let Hendo get into this game and get a bit of a flow, the more likely he is to go in and maybe produce another incredible comeback. When does the tournament end? And when is it back after the Christmas break? So the Christmas break starts on December the 23rd and it comes back on the 27th. In terms of the tournament ends, it's on January the 3rd, which is a little bit different because usually it finishes on January the 1st, on New Year's Day. But it's on January the 3rd this year, so they've changed it slightly. But Henderson here, chance for an 80 checkout, needs tops. And it's a very awkward angle for Hendo to be able to hit the treble 20 here. Can he get it? He moves from the left to the right. Such an awkward angle for him. And he doesn't get it in the end, and well, very unlucky there for him indeed. It was an awkward angle with the two darts at the 20. So a chance here for a 126 checkout from Clayton. He desperately needs it. Gets a treble 19. Gets another one. Double 6 for a 126 checkout. Oh, he just can't get it. And Hendo's back now with a chance at the tops to take a 2-leg lead in this 4th set. And there's no mistake from Hendo. And this is a comeback and a half from Hendo, who's looking hungry to come back in this game. And if he can get the next leg on the board, we're going to a 2-set apiece final set shootout. It's been a brilliant, brilliant game so far. Certainly has turned it up a notch now, Hendo. Question is, can Clayton turn it back up a notch like he did in that original first and second set? He's going to start off here though with a chance at a 180, which he gets a 140 to start. He finishes at the back on 27th. So basically, the Christmas break is from the 23rd, while the 27th. So you get a 4-day break, and then the tournament itself finishes on January the 3rd. Usually it finishes on New Year's Day, but they've changed it this year. So you've got a 4-day break from the 23rd to the 27th, and then we're back once again for the last couple of days, and then it's done and dusted and out the way for another year, which is a shame because it feels like we've got through it so bloody quickly already. I mean, we're pretty much through the majority of well, not through the majority, we're through quite a large chunk of the round 2 games, so it's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame. It always feels like it goes by too quick. And then, what's the next tournament coming up, like the next big PDC tournament? I can't remember off the top of my head, if I'm being honest with you, because we've had such a long period of like the World Grand Prix, the World Cup of Darts, the World Darts Championship. I forgot what comes up next. Of course, I know the Premier League of Darts will begin up early in the year. So 142 checkout here, chance for it. He's actually going to leave it, Henderson. So Clayton here on 24 needs double 12 for a big leg on the board. Good marker for the second dart. And he doesn't get it, Clayton. And you've got to say now, Henderson here with a real opportunity for double 16 to make it 2 sets apiece and take us all the way. Now needs double 8s. Now needs double 4. Is it 3rd time lucky for John Hendo? Can he do it? He doesn't. And Clayton now with a chance to make it double 12. A big opportunity to try and claw back in this 4th set, which he does. So 2-1 on legs. And will that give Jonny Clayton the confidence he needs to go on and make sure that this game finishes, or will Hendo keep his cool, calm composure like he has and make it 2 sets apiece? Yeah, I know the Premier League. I thought the Premier League was back soon. Premier League in February. I thought it was relatively soon because I know the one in Leeds is in April, which is quite late on in terms of like the weekly setup of it. PDC Masters in January on ITV4. Ooh, okay, that's not too bad. I probably won't do a watch along for that one. I think in terms of the watch alongs, I'll probably do like obviously the World Darts Championship. We're definitely doing that again next year, 100%. But I'll do it for like the Premier League of Darts, any of the boys sports ones, Ladbrokes later in the year as well. So they do tend to come later in the year, but of course we've got loads of watch alongs still to come on the channel with the football anyway. So it's fairly hectic right now, as I said. In terms of watch alongs and stuff on this channel, it's busy. Keeps me on my toes, I'll tell you that for sure. But Clayton here at 281. Henderson gets himself 59 to put himself down to 273. It's such a nervy moment in this game now, because you know either player is realistically kind of 1 or 2 legs away from something, whether it be winning the match for Jonny Clayton or taking this to a final set decider. It's a close game to call. And it's good for us because it means we do get to stream a little bit longer, because we've only been live for just under 2.5 hours, which is mad. Nice easy session for me today. So Hendo at 154. You'd assume here he's going to get at least 6 darts depending on what Clayton gets. Clayton only gets 60. So 154 required here for Hendo. And he's going to start with treble 5, which means he ain't going to be checking out here at all. But can he leave himself with a good finish on the board, or will Clayton have an opportunity to take it to a last leg decider? Oh, and only gets 49. So Henderson at 115 and Clayton here with a real opportunity on the 140. Starts with a treble 20, needs another one, gets it, double 10 for a last leg decider. Oh, there's a beautiful 140 checkout from Jonny Clayton. And we're going to a last leg decider, and he deserved a finish there from Clayton. Beautiful from the Welshman. And we are going to a last potential leg decider here for this 4th set. Will Clayton win the game, or will Henderson take us to a last set decider? And I tell you something, Henderson's got the throw, but he starts with 60. Not a good start at all there. We've had a new subscriber on the channel. Thank you to whoever you are. Greatly appreciated indeed. Gareth Bale, a heart on me. It means we're only 85 subs away from 1.5k, which is brilliant. But it's getting very nervy now. Jonny Clayton on 401. Henderson on 441. Will Clayton be able to hold his nerve, or will Hendo keep his calm composure? The Highlander, as he's called. Will he take us all the way to a last set decider? It's very nervy. Clayton at 342, Henderson at 344. Starts with a 5 and 19. He really needs a treble here, Hendo. Which he does, but only a treble 7. So advantage Clayton now. If he can get some trebles, gets the treble 20. Gets another one, could be on for a 180 here at the perfect time. Oh, 180 for Jonny Clayton. And that gives him the advantage. That's the 6th 180 of the match. And surely now this game is in his hands, depending on what Hendo can do to fight back here in what has been a brilliant game to watch. Only 39 for Henderson, so he's going to have at least 6 darts here at the 162. Starts with a 20. Gets another 20. Really needs a treble now, Clayton. And he doesn't. So he's down to 102, but he's going to have at least 3 darts with Hendo back at 260. Chris has put my favourite tournaments: World Championship, UK Open, Premier League, World Match Play and World Grand Prix. I agree with you on that one. Really love them ones. And Grand Prix is great, as you said, for the double start. You guys are pretty cool, by the way. Thank you so much, the man with no name. You're an absolute legend. It's greatly appreciated for those of you, whether you do talk, whether you sit back and relax and watch these watch-alongs. For those of you that consistently join us for these, because you know it's always nice to have regular viewers in the stream. And as I said, there will definitely be a lot more dart watch-alongs on this channel. I'll tell you that for sure, with how well these have gone so far. So Jonny Clayton here at 40, Henderson at 200 gets 140 to leave himself 60. So chance here for the match. Jonny Clayton, double 20 needed to win the game. Needs double 10 and gets the double 10. And Jonny Clayton goes through to the next round of the World Darts Championship. And you have to give credit to John Henderson, who nearly had an opportunity to take him to a deciding leg in this game. But realistically there, he just couldn't get that leg on the board at the very end of this game. And in the end, it is Jonny Clayton who gets the win. It's a 3-1 win. Not the most convincing game for Clayton in terms of how he kind of... Well, I mean, it was a good win in the end. I think he'd be a little bit frustrated how he let Hendo back into the game. But ultimately, in the end, it's a good result for Clayton. He wins 3-1 and a very, very good result on the board indeed. Which means our action is pretty much already done for the night. It's mad. Let's have a quick look at the stats for this game, though. And quickly have a talk through it while we've got, well, as much time as we want now. So in terms of the game overall, the average of the match for both players, Clayton with 90.57, while John Henderson with an 87.42. Got to give credit to Henderson there. Did very, very well to fight back in the game. But ultimately, could you say very similar situation to Demon Heta? Just left it a little bit too late in the game to try and come back and get something in the match. In terms of 180s, there was 3 180s for both players. But ultimately, checkouts wise, 30.43% for John Henderson and 41.67% for Jonny Clayton. It was a good performance overall there for the Welshman. And he's through to the next round of the World Darts Championship, which means tonight's action is all done dusted. And we've not even hit 9 o'clock. But the scores for tonight's games. Keegan Brown with a 3-0 win over Ryan Meikle. Very good game that was for Keegan Brown there with his finishing. Jeffrey Zwaan with a shocking 3-0 defeat to Ryan Searle, who absolutely blitzed him for the majority of the game, even with Jeffrey Zwaan nearly averaging 100. And of course, as we saw there a moment ago, Jonny Clayton with a 3-1 win over John Henderson. So that is it for tonight's action at the World Darts Championship. It was the quickest night I think we've ever had at the World Darts Championship. We're not even at 9 o'clock and we're done. I've only been live for 2.5 hours. Bloody easy night for me, but we're going to be live once again tomorrow night. Going to be different scenery. In fact, not going to have the green screen with me, which is a real shame because I think it's the best piece of kit that I've got. But there is only tomorrow an evening session, no afternoon session at the World Darts Championship. But we're live again tomorrow from 6:10. 4 very good games to come as we start getting into a full day's action, of course, of round 2 fixtures. We've got Christopher Ratajski coming up against Ryan Joyce. Ian Diamond White coming up against Kim Hybrex, who was fantastic in his game when he played a few days ago. Going Price for the first time at the Ali Pali, he'll be coming up against Jamie Lewis. And Gabriel Clemens coming up in a game against Nico Kers in the second round. So that is tomorrow's action. I'll be live once again, as always, from 6:10 for those games. As I said, different scenery, which is really shit for me indeed. But as for now, thank you very much for all of you for joining the stream. It was a very short one tonight. Just a shame we didn't have that other game going on. The man with no names going to make a well-earned cuppa. You've deserved it. Enjoy that cuppa, buddy. And then Chris put, take care, stay safe, lads. So thank you very much once again. If you're new to stream, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. We've got more content to come on the channel as always. We've got a wrestling podcast, the Wrestling Corner, which is available on Tuesday at 11:30. We've got, of course, plenty of football watch-alongs to come in the near future. And then we've also got NFL playoff watch-alongs to come in 2021. The reason why I wasn't doing afternoon sessions with my own names because they were round 1 sessions. When the round 2 ones start, I'll be doing afternoon sessions, I think, in a few days' time. So keep your eyes out for that. But as for now, have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And we hope to see you again tomorrow night. As I said, 6:10. You do not want to miss it. 4 brilliant games in the second round. But as for now, have a fantastic morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.